Tonight, Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City is sold out for the 12th. Love to play as they've won 21 of the last 28, 9 of the last 10. And tonight, over 77,000 are in hand for a critical AFC matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender. This has become a huge AFC matchup because of the fact San Diego upset Denver. The Chiefs can pull into first place in the AFC West. They've won 4 games, but it's been a rough road. They played 5 straight playoff teams with a combined record of 21-11, and their 3 losses have been on the road by a total of 11 points. Now, Marty Schottenheimer's won 22 games the last 2 years, gotten to the playoffs both years, but they want to go to a new level. And Pat Haden, they feel they have that guy now, the final component in quarterback Dave Krieg.
Well, Gary, there's no doubt in my mind that Kansas City is a much more difficult team to defend with Dave Krieg, because with Dave Krieg, they have the ability to get the ball downfield with some accuracy. They were a methodical team the last 2 years, particularly in the playoffs. Dave Krieg is a guy who can throw the ball downfield, and they've been surprised with his arm strength. Now, there's no doubt also in my mind, Gary, that he's a very, very capable quarterback. Whether he is the missing ingredient and get him to the Super Bowl, that's still a question mark.
Pat, I tell you, the Chiefs, they just feed on turnovers. They've scored 33 points off the turnovers. They lead the NFL with 18 takeaways, and they have the feared pass rusher, the most feared pass rusher in the NFL, in Derek Thomas.
Well, and remember, Derek Thomas is finally healthy. The last 2 weeks, he's gotten his health back, and he has made a big, big difference. Now, Bill Cowher, who you coached him the last 3 years when he was the defensive coordinator here, now the head coach at Pittsburgh, said last night you cannot let Derek Thomas get started in the pass rushing game, because if he does, he'll control the football game. They'll put a tight end on him, Adrian Cooper, all 280 pounds on him, and they want to stay out of those 3rd and 8s.
Well, this is a homecoming of sorts for Bill Cowher. The last 3 years, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs. He got the Steelers out of the gate very quickly, established some credibility. And one of the reasons, the play of Neil O'Donnell. He's played with confidence and poise.
Well, you know, Bill Cowher had a lot of decisions to make when he became head coach, and probably the most important was naming Neil O'Donnell as his quarterback. Now, he has not disappointed. Only in his 3rd year, his first as a starter, he is calm. He is relaxed, Gary, as you mentioned. I think that rubs off on his teammates. I think the most amazing thing about him, though, is his first year as a starter. 179 passes, but only the 3 interceptions, and that's what they want, a productive guy who doesn't turn the ball over.
You know, we overuse the word superstar, but Barry Foster's fast approaching that. He leads the NFL in rushing, averaging 107 yards a game.
And with 642 yards rushing, he has run for more yards than 11 teams in the National Football League. I think he's a rather unusual player, and I think he has surprised the Pittsburgh staff. This is a guy they thought could run from tackle to tackle, and indeed he's been able to do that. But the real surprise has been Barry Foster on the outside, the perimeter of the defense. You combine those 2 things, you have a dominant back.
We have a new kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Eddie Murray, 12 years, the kicker for the Detroit Lions, signed for this game because Nick Lowry has a pulled groin muscle. And so his streak of 187 consecutive games comes to a close. And I talked to him before the game. He said, I don't know how to stand on the sideline. Murray is ready. So White Stone will take it at the 5. Stone up to the 20, 23-yard line. And the Steelers will start it there. Neil O'Donnell, the quarterback. He's thrown an AFC low 3 interceptions. Big, strong, has an excellent arm. And one thing that impresses us as we watch tapes, he has very good feel for the pressure. He moves around in the pocket very well. And in the last 2 games, he's had 48 completions. O'Donnell will give it off to Leroy Thompson. That's a surprise to have him opening in the game as he comes across the 20 to the 27-yard line. Tracy Simeon there to make the stop. This offensive line of the Steelers has gotten much bigger. They feel Dermontti Dotson is their best player. In fact, they feel he's in the same type of ability of Bart Oates. That was from Ron Earhart, who was with the Giants for so many years. We talked about Foster. Hodge has now become a blocking back. Graham is having a very good 2nd year. He is 3rd in catches in the AFC. There is Earhart, who for so many years directed the offense for the Giants. They decided to go with Thompson early instead of Foster. In motion. Here is Thompson again. The Penn State alumnus is very close to the first down. as he brings it out to the 34-yard line. The Chiefs defensively up front. Neil Smith, 8.5 sacks, tied for the NFL lead with Clyde Simmons coming into the day. Martin is back after a knee problem a week ago, and we talked about how tough Derek Thomas is. Albert Lewis missed last week because of some rib problems. He's starting. We expect to see their #1 draft pick, Dale Carter, from time to time.
Well, there's Barry Foster, and the reason he is not playing right now, Ron Earhart, the man right there at the headset on the offensive coordinator, has 4 or 5 different packages. In the 2-back set, he is not featured. They feature Leroy Thompson, and that's why he's in.
First down from the 34. Hodge trying to go outside. Derek Thomas is there first. Maybe a half yard on the play, and Derek Thomas, 6.5 sacks, who Pat was talking about was hurt earlier in the year, but has come on now to play like the player we've seen in years past.
I think Derek Thomas in today's NFL game has as much individual impact on the course of a game as anybody on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, there's some great players around, but I think today, in today's game, Derek Thomas is the most dominating.
Second down. Let's make it a long 8 to go. Just across the 35. Thompson in motion again. O'Donnell will dump it off to Hodge. Merrill Hodge across the 40. Lowers his head a couple of yards short of the first down. Hodge is an excellent receiver coming out of the backfield. 1 year he caught 50 passes for the Steelers.
Well, and we talked about the poise of O'Donnell, Gary, a little bit earlier. He's trying to get the ball downfield. Now, you know on your backside you have Derek Thomas, and you can't hold on the ball very long. So when you play the Chiefs, you always have someone as an outlet receiver. That time it was Merrill Hodge.
Third down.
And this is what the Steelers need. 3rd and 2. If they can make this a 3rd and 2 type of game, the Steelers can win.
3rd down 2, just across the 40. O'Donnell to Thompson, and Thompson's not going to get it. Simeon was there first, number 54, the inside linebacker. Simeon, who proved his wares in the World League and coming over as a starter a year ago. Mark Royals will punt for Pittsburgh. And the #1 draft pick for the Chiefs, Dale Carter, goes back. Snap. Royals gets into this one very well. And they're going to let it hit, and that ball will make it in for the touchback. Last week, he fielded one inside the 10 against Dallas, and I'm sure the coaching staff got his attention. 58-yard punt by Royals. And from the 20-yard line, Kansas City will get the ball.
The NFL on TNT is brought to you by Days Inn. Wake up to Days Inn. For reservations, contact your travel agent or call 1-800-325-2525. And by Coors Light. The silver bullet is the right beer now.
Time it is. I love this place. Come here. Right here. The Dinner Basket Central. What are my options?
What would you like in it? French fry or potato?
Baked potato.
Coleslaw or salad?
Salad.
I think you have a few. We'll bring it right up to you.
Dinner basket? It's about that time. Chicken and steak. Whopper. Shrimp. Coming in with the basket? All right. Does that work for you? Works for me. It's good. It's your way? Right away.
I love this place.
Me too.
The Chiefs with the football for the first time at the 20-yard line. Dave Krieg, who celebrated his 34th birthday on Tuesday. Tremendous competitor. Excellent at the play-action fake. He's had some good games. He had 3 touchdown passes against the Eagles. Ran for 2 against the Raiders. And Dave Krieg, as we said at the top of this broadcast, they hope he is the guy who can take them to the next level. will be in the backfield as they start this series. Barry Word running right across the 20 to the 21, a gain of 1. Let's set offensively this huge offensive line for the Chiefs. They average 300 pounds up front. John Alt is 6'8". Grunhard, they feel, is becoming a dominant center, the man out of Notre Dame. Word starting with Burden, Jones, and Davis, the 3 wide receiver set that we'll see from time to time. On a 2nd and 9, a handoff to Word. Word stiff-arms one, and P.J. Johnson wrestles him down. He's very close to the first down. He needed to get to the 30. That's 245 pounds that Johnson was trying to get down.
Yeah, D.J. Johnson got about a whole shoulder full of Barry Word.
The defensive forward wall of the Steelers not very big. Joel Steed is the rookie out of Colorado. Their linebackers, the outside guys, give them the most pass rush. Williams and Greg Lloyd, a Pro Bowler. Woodson, just an outstanding athlete, and Carnell Lake is playing like he wants to go to the Pro Bowl. First down, run by Word to the 30-yard line. Steve Cash comes in motion. Word again, and Word is able to hammer it out close to the 35. Joel Steed on the stop there, 2nd down.
And we see nothing but run thus far from the Chiefs, Gary, but what the Chiefs are trying to become is a 3-dimensional team. You know, we've talked about they made the playoffs last year. They've won with defense. They've won with special teams. Not just in terms of field position, but they've actually scored on defense and scored on special teams. But with Dave Krieg, they believe they have the opportunity to win on offense. And that can make them a Super Bowl team.
2nd down and 5. Todd McNair has joined Word in the backfield. Got the first down. He's got an official with him on this one. He drives the official forward along with the Steelers. A first down across the 45, an 11-yard run, and the official shaken up on the play. Ooh, he could not get out of the way. He was hemmed in by everyone, and he paid for that one.
Yeah, watch Tim Grunhard, really the center right here. He blocks here, and then he comes over here and allows the left guard there, Lutz, to make his block. But Grunhard, a little field block. He blocks a nose tackle. He comes off on a linebacker. And then Barry Word just kind of feels that little block by a center, Grunhard, and picks up the first.
Ed Fithick is the umpire who is shaken up on the play. As Barry Word now has carried the ball 4 straight times.
Well, Barry Word's going to shake up linebackers, defensive linemen, corners, and umpires. I mean, this is an assignment as an umpire you don't want to get, the Kansas City Chiefs. Because you're going to get a lot of Barry Word running right at you.
He was a 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. Okoye 2 years ago, as well as last year. So they've had 3 1,000-yard rushers in a year in a row. And the thing that impresses you is how they're so unselfish that Marty Schottenheimer is able to keep them all happy.
Well, I mean, that's just it, though. I think Marty said this week, though, that he's got 5 good backs. It's difficult to keep guys, there's Williams, Harvey Williams, everybody happy, I believe. And he's saying maybe that's what's wrong with our rushing offense. The last 3 weeks, the Chiefs have not run the ball as well as they can. He said, hey, I'm going to go with Barry Word a little longer tonight. He practiced hard. I have a feel for Barry Word, and we're going to give him a chance to play longer in the game because running backs really are most productive after the 15th carry.
Well, umpire Ed is grinning, so maybe that is a good indication after the shot he took. And so now, with one less guy, they have to cover each other now and alter their assignments as they start play once again. I think he might be back, don't you?
No, yeah, he looks like he's... well, I'm not sure you want to get back in against Barry Word. You pull that loser's limp. You know, you grab the hamstring and you say, Coach, I can't go back in.
First down now for 46. Willie Davis comes in motion. Word again, 5th straight carry. This time, not much. Good penetration that time by the Steelers. In particular, Joel Steed. Steed, their 3rd-round draft pick, And talking to the coaches, he is having to learn so much. He's almost been overwhelmed by what he's had to learn, but he's starting to come out of that, I guess, that funk.
Well, you know, not only that, learning a lot as a nose tackle, but for a college player, which he was a year ago, your season's virtually over by about now. I mean, I think part of it as a rookie, when you're starting, is getting into the rhythm, a pace of a long season.
2nd and 9 for the Chiefs. No score. 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. Play action by Krieg, going far side. The ball is up. Willie Davis, the intended receiver, and good coverage by the All-Pro Rod Woodson.
But Gary, ever since Rod Woodson was beaten twice in the Green Bay game a few weeks ago, every team has come back, and early in the game, they have tested Rod Woodson. And since that Green Bay game, Rod Woodson has responded with plays like that.
The point that's been made about him, when he got burned, is they double moved him or double pumped. And he's seen a lot of that since that game against the Packers.
So he sees it every day in practice. He sees it on Wednesdays, he sees it on Thursdays, and he's seen it every Sunday, but he has not been beaten since that time.
McNair comes in on a 3rd down and long, 3rd and 9. Krieg, waiting. The catch is made by Willie Davis. And Davis, who's had 3 straight 100-yard games, just added 17 with that reception. First down at the 36-yard line.
Willie Davis is just a guy who is waiting for an opportunity, and he has seized it. You see the pocket, you see Krieg step up into it. Now, and the strength of Dave Craig's arm, a lot of people said he doesn't necessarily have a strong arm, but I think that is where he has surprised the Kansas City coaches and wide receivers, because he does have a strong arm.
There is a penalty flag, and let's check this one out.
Illegal formation. Number 77 offense, not on the line of scrimmage. His shoulders were not parallel. He's in the backfield. 3rd down.
Parallel. Marty says, what do you mean parallel? That's Rich Baldinger.
But, you know, you see it happening more and more. He is at the top of the screen right up here, number 77, and that's the right call. But you see tackles more and more doing that on the passing plays.
So instead of that 17-yard gain, it's now 3rd and 14. Krieg with time, and it goes right through the hands of Kimball Anders, who they activated a week ago, a former Houston standout, who had hurt his knee after having a very impressive preseason. It's 4th down, and that means that Brian Barker will come in and punt.
And Rod Woodson comes in to return the punt, and this is the thing that Marty Schottenheimer is concerned about. That man, Rod Woodson, on the punt return. They said the one area we've been deficient in the special teams this year is on coverage.
And Woodson can make a lot of coverages look bad. Barker, rush put on by Ernie Mills. Woodson at the 20, bobbled it momentarily. Look at this move. Out to the 40. Barker misses him. It's a foot race. And he's going to take it all the way. Rod Woodson will take it for the touchdown, an 80-yard return.
And he's giving him the chop.
And so Bill Cowher's homecoming gets off to a very fine note.
Yeah. Everybody's doing the chop now, at least on the Pittsburgh sideline. But again, we just talked about Bill Cowher, Marty Schottenheimer being concerned about his coverage teams.
Well, they don't want Brian Barker trying to make the tackles, and that's what it ended up being. Anderson's point after is up and through, and Pittsburgh has taken a 7-0 lead. And go back now, Pat, and take us through this 80-yard run.
Well, Rod Woodson very rarely calls for a fair catch because he's got remarkable confidence in himself. Picks up a couple of good blocks, and then the big punt returns are generally right up the middle of the defense. You see some strength, you see some speed, you see an awful lot of confidence, and you're going to see the tomahawk chop, too.
Just try us once. That's all it will take. At East of Chicago Pizza, West Main Street in Shelby, we specialize in deep pan pizza and fast delivery service. We mix our dough daily and use the freshest ingredients possible to assure you of consistent quality and excellent taste. Try our subs, salads, and breadsticks to make your East of Chicago feast complete. Open Monday through Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 4. Let us deliver our homemade taste to your home. Just try us once. That's all it will take.
Introducing the new minivan store at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Compare the widest range of America's most popular minivans, all under one roof. Voyager, an outstanding family value. Grand Voyager, even more spacious. The luxurious Chrysler Town & Country. If you're looking for a minivan, any minivan, first see the experts who sold over 3 million. The minivan store, only at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer, where real advantages make a real difference.
Would you like to buy a car for only $3? Yes, you can during Auto Credit of Mansfield's 3rd anniversary celebration. The last 3 Saturdays in October, Auto Credit of Mansfield will give one lucky person the opportunity to buy a fine Auto Credit car for only $3. Stop at Auto Credit and register. No purchase necessary. There's 3rd anniversary savings and low down payments on every car. Auto Credit is the home of Mansfield's finest used cars with the lowest down payments and the only used car dealer offering a term of the loan warranty. Don't miss the 3rd anniversary savings at Auto Credit on West 4th Street next to Finest in Mansfield.
Rod Woodson with his 3rd touchdown punt return of his career. An 80-yarder, the longest of his career. 7-0 Pittsburgh as Anderson kicking off to Harvey Williams. We're going to go back and look at this punt return from behind number 26.
Yeah, well, watch the fake Rod Woodson here is after the ball. It looks like he's faking a pitch to Solomon Wilcox, one of his teammates, number 41, right there. He fakes the pitch there. One of the defenders runs by him, I think, to tackle Wilcox, and then he just kind of bursts through the middle and then beats a punter. I mean, that's a punter's nightmare to have Rod Woodson with the ball in his hands and about 50 yards behind you that somebody else can't defend.
Well, and it wasn't a good punt to start with. It was returnable, obviously. It was low and only at 38 yards. So the Chiefs, stunned, trailing 7-0, will start from the 20 once again.
Well, you see, Marty is still talking to his punter.
Hayes comes in motion. Barry Word goes back to work and wedges it forward to the 25-yard line. The pile just keeps moving. In fact, in talking to Dom Capers, the defensive coordinator, says you look at a play for the Chiefs, think they've gained 3 yards, and it's 7.
You know, they just keep moving and moving and moving, and not just the running backs. It's the offensive linemen. You know, everybody talks about running backs keeping their legs moving, but the offensive linemen of these Chiefs, they keep moving as well.
And they have their run blocks look like their pass blocks. Really hard to decipher one from the other. And the umpire, Ed Fifick, is back in there. A bruised shoulder is the prognosis on him, and we've got movement everywhere. Looked like Dave Zott, the left guard, moved.
Full start, 79 offense, moving prior to the snap, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
Dave Zott out of Penn State, 3rd-year man. Here's our man beyond the call of duty. Our umpire has returned.
And he comes right back and makes an impact. He goes right to that yellow flag, but he was never injured.
That'll limber up that bruised shoulder. Out from behind is Word trying to get back to the 20-yard line on a 2nd down and 10, and that shows you the quickness and speed of this Pittsburgh team. Greg Lloyd was there first.
Yeah, well, Greg Lloyd is going to hit somebody every play. I mean, it's not always the ball carrier. It's not always the quarterback. But Greg Lloyd is going to hit someone, and he sets the tempo, the pace for this Steeler defense.
Barry Word has been shaken up, and he's walking off the field. One thing they do have is depth at that running back position.
You know, look at the big spot on his helmet. I mean, you see the big white spot on his helmet? No surprise there.
He vaporized somebody, it looks like.
Man.
3rd down with 11 yards to go. Greg from the shotgun. That ball incomplete, and a pass interference against D.J. Johnson.
I don't know about that one.
Fred Jones, the intended receiver, at the 36-yard line.
Well, D.J. Johnson's always been the other corner, the one away from Rod Woodson, so they throw a lot to his side.
Defense, first down at the spot.
But a good drive. Yeah, he does bump him. He runs through him. That's a good call.
That ends up being an 18-yard penalty. Barry Word has come back into the game, so he's all right as Jones comes out. The first down at the 37th. Play action, Craig to Davis. Davis will be knocked out of bounds just about where he needs to go for the first down, but there is a penalty flag.
Well, you know, this Chief team started the game. We'll wait for the signal here.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer, number 95 defense. Unnecessary hit. 15 yards to the end of the play.
Well, you said Greg Lloyd had hit anybody on any play, but that's not the kind of hit he had in mind. So that now will move the ball all the way to the Pittsburgh 38-yard line.
And now the Chiefs get a situation where I think you're going to see a lot more here of Barry Ward.
Here he comes, as you advertised. Doesn't get much this time. David Little, number 50, the veteran, is in there. Yeah. Also Greg Lloyd.
And the Chiefs always start a game, I guess, running the football generally in a matchup like this, and it seems like they'd rather, you know, pass kidney stones than the football. But as the game wears on, they begin to loosen you up, and then they throw the ball downfield, and that's where David Craig gets you. He gives you that throw downfield. You like kidney stones. Yeah.
Joe Pendry, the offensive coordinator. I hope he's never had that problem.
Hang in there.
Second down 10.
I'm going too fast for you.
Play action by Craig, and it's tipped. And is it intercepted?
Yep.
It is intercepted. That is Gerald Williams, who was able to dive and come up with it. Now there's one official waving it off. Let's wait and see.
You know, that's Gary Howe, I think, who made the block.
Throwing is an incomplete pass. The ball hit the ground. Third down.
Let's have a look at it. Gary Howe is a short nose tackle. He is right here. He is number 78. He's the one who's going to block the pass. Now, this Pittsburgh team is a quick team. They don't necessarily get a lot of sacks, but it actually hit him right in the helmet. Dave Craig is a long strider. I thought that ball got picked off.
I did too. Instead, it's 3rd and 10. Flag on the play as Craig will step up against the pressure and again batted down. And this time it is Aaron Jones. They do a lot of that, Pat. They don't really put as much pressure in your face, but they get up, get those hands into the air, and bat it down. They have only 8 sacks coming into this game.
Let's go back to the play before and see if the interception really was indeed that, or the
illegal formation. Number 76 is not on the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. Yeah. Result of the play will be 4th down.
Let's have another look here. This is the play before.
And going back to Woodson back again.
But the Chiefs just moving in front. It was hard to see it that last second.
You really can't tell there. But Dave Craig is a guy who's they list him at 6'1", and he's a long strider, and he's going to get some balls tipped. When you're that short and you're a long strider, the defense gets their hands up. You're going to have some tip balls and some interceptions.
Are you speaking from experience?
Absolutely.
Parker will try to get this into the corner, but he got too much of it, and that'll come out to the 20-yard line.
They generously listed me as 6 feet.
That is very generous. 4:27 to go in this first quarter. 7-0, Pittsburgh.
Silver summer, silver time, silver line girl in the silver suit, look so fine, silver bottom, silver top, silver fish, silver wish, come from here, right from here. Ain't this so good? Good life is alright here now. Good life is alright here now.
The Hall of Fame game. Portland is experienced. Charlotte is aggressive. Age before beauty.
Say what?
The Hornets take on the Blazers, November 3rd at 8 Eastern on TNT.
Monroe introduces road sensing technology. A new breed of Monroe shocks and struts that give you added control. New road sensing shocks and struts, only by Monroe. Designed to adjust automatically to give you added control without sacrificing comfort. Now, comfort and control are automatic. New road sensing technology, only by Monroe.
Canon CJ10. The power of color is yours.
Let's go back to the second block pass that Dave Krieg had. I don't care if you're 6'5", you're not going to get the ball this time over Aaron Jones, who's 6'5" himself. Times the jump perfectly, and that is an art. When you know you can't get to the quarterback, you sense the block, you jump, and you knock it down.
Barry Foster in the game for the first time, and he's going to carry for the first time. Makes that first man missing and gets to the 22, 23-yard line. Dan Salamua was the guy who couldn't hang on. Neil Smith eventually made the stop, and that's what the coaches said. Barry Foster makes that first man miss. He's a pick and slide runner. Very good vision.
Well, the Steelers lead the AFC in rushing with 143 yards a game, and that says two things. It means your offensive line is playing doggone well, and it means your backs are making 7-yard runs out of 4-yard blocks, and that's what Barry Foster's done.
2nd and 7 for the Steelers. McDonald's got time, and on target to Thompson, who they split out as a wide receiver. He'll be 3 yards short of the first down as he's knocked out at the 27-yard line by Albert Lewis. They do that a lot with Thompson. They will split him out and use him as a wide receiver, as evidence there.
The thing we're noticing about this game thus far, Gary, is that receivers are not getting much yardage after the catch. And I think that speaks to the quality of the defensive backs in this game. Albert Lewis, of course, being one of those. Rod Woodson another, and Kevin Ross and D.J. Johnson. These guys are always around the ball.
Dale Carter comes into the secondary on a passing 3rd and 3. And Smith moved. Neil Smith made contact.
Well,
Hilton was there, but who moved first?
Neil is allowed to move, of course.
He's pointing towards Pittsburgh, and Tom White, I think, agrees with him.
False start. Right guard. 5 yards moving prior to the snap.
It was Carlton Hasselrig, number 77, who moved.
Well, and now you get in that 3rd and 8 situation, which Bill Cowher was so concerned about. He said, hey, 3rd and 8 is owned by Derek Thomas on defense. We've got to block him with the tight end if we can on 3rd and 8.
And Smith sees something again. And Neil O'Donnell didn't like the look of number 90 staring him in the face. He's playing with a broken nose. You can see the tape across that nose. Very painful. Last week he got hit against the Dallas Cowboys.
Offsides. Number 90 defense in the offensive backfield. We've caused the beginning of the start of the play not to happen.
Right there in the left end. Now, when he goes through, then he does a smart thing, though. He goes through, and then he points at one of the Steelers' offensive linemen, but he had a smile on his face, and it really wasn't a very convincing point.
Well, he's even now in penalty yardage.
Yeah.
On a 3rd and 3, O'Donnell over the middle, completes it to Thompson, breaks the tackle to the 40. Thompson to the 50. He's to the 45 and to the 44. There's a flag near the point of impact. That will be a 29-yard gain to the 44 of Kansas City. And it quiets the crowd here in Arrowhead Stadium. It'll be holding against Pittsburgh. So that long run and catch by Thompson will be coming back.
One nice thing, though, there about Leroy Thompson, as soon as he caught that ball,
number 81, offense, 10 yards from the end of the run. That's a first down.
At the end of the run, so it will be a first down, and Jeff Graham is the guilty party. So instead of bringing it all the way back, they move it back to the 46-yard line. First down, Pittsburgh.
We said about Derek Thomas, you always know where he is if you're a quarterback. When he's lined up on the left side, you always know he's behind you, so you have to get rid of the ball quickly. O'Donnell did a terrific job of doing that, and they pick up the first.
That's that poise that he has. Cooper now lines up to take on Derek Thomas. A handoff to Foster, and he almost had his head taken off by Salamua. Danny Salamua went flying over there and hit Foster around the helmet, and down he goes. It'll bring up a second down and 8.
Now, Salamua is he's number 97, the nose tackle. And again, as Ron Earhart said, he's no sailor boy. I mean, Dan Salamua is going to make some plays as a nose tackle. He's not one of those nose tackles that just necessarily kind of just sucks up blocks. He makes some plays.
What did he say? No ships ahoy for him.
He's a real man in there.
2nd and 7. O'Donnell after the play action gets it to Adrian Cooper, and Cooper then runs into Kevin Ross, and Ross has a tough time getting the 270-pound tight end down. That's an 11-yard gain. Cooper out of Oklahoma.
See, for the Steelers, I believe, to win, he's number 87 right there coming off the wing. To really win the AFC Central, which I think they can, is they've got to get these tight ends involved in their passing game. Adrian Cooper at 270, Eric Green at 280. These guys are forces at both the blocks and the catching the ball, just like Adrian Cooper did right there.
O'Donnell 4 of 4 passing. First down at the 40. Barry Foster, and Foster has a collision at the 36-yard line. Helmet to helmet that time with Salamua.
But you like what the Steelers have done this far, Gary. They pound, they give you a little play action. They don't really hang on to the ball very long. But you know about this Chiefs, if you have a hole, it doesn't stay open very long. Boom. Yeah, that's good defense. Two different styles of defense. The Chiefs play kind of a, right into the man. The Steelers playing kind of a gap defense, much quicker.
35-year-old Bill Cowher has a 7-0 lead as we have come to the end of this first quarter. The sellout in Kansas City.
Are you comparing apples to oranges? You are if you're comparing Al Rosso Ford Mercury with any other Ford dealer. The biggest difference here is value for your dollar. All of our cars are well equipped, not stripped to the bare bones and advertised at a misleading low price. We order in nicer cars because our customers want it that way. It's just something to think about when you're buying your next car. Al Rosso Ford Mercury, 40 Mickey Road in Shelby.
Tired of that same old sound? You know you want the good life. Call Renter's Choice, your home furnishing outlets to get the best in your home today. The Good Life is a home entertainment center with 19-inch color TV, stereo, and VCR for just $18.99. Call now. At this price, they won't last long. No credit needed. Just pick up the phone and rent the smart way at Renter's Choice, the fastest growing home furnishing outlets in America. Call us today and we'll be there today.
Introducing the new minivan store at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Compare the widest range of America's most popular minivans, all under one roof. Voyager, an outstanding family value. Grand Voyager, even more spacious. The luxurious Chrysler Town & Country. If you're looking for a minivan, any minivan, first see the experts who sold over 3 million. The minivan store, only at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer, where real advantages make a real difference.
We played one quarter. The Steelers lead at 7-0 at halftime. The Silver Bullet halftime show, and Bob Neal is down there. And what's going on down there, Bob?
You see, I've got a Pittsburgh fan here with me. See what happens? You think it's tough here in the end zone? This guy started cheering for Pittsburgh, and the next thing you know, full of arrows.
No way!
What's your name?
Monty Short.
Monty, how are you going to do? You bleeding? You okay? I'm okay, though. I'll make it through the game. You ever heard about making love to a porcupine? Just step right over here, buddy. Join us for the Fruit of the Loom halftime report coming up in a moment. Dan Rooney will be with us, Steelers president. Back to Gary and back.
Okay, Bob. 2nd and 7. O'Donnell trying to set up something over the middle to Dwight Stone. He never did clear. Lonnie Martz was putting the pressure up the middle right in his face. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Bob's guest voted most likely to take a hostage in his high school class. Wow. Good pressure again. Up to Salamua, opens up the hole for Simeon. I mean, that's what your nose tackle, I'm sorry, it's Martz, number 51. But Salamua, the nose tackle, really opened up a lane there for the inside rush by Martz. So Salamua is having a heck of a first half.
3rd and 7 now for the Steelers. And moving across is Derek Thomas. Both the bookend guys, Neil Smith and Derek Thomas, have been very trigger happy.
Well, Derek Thomas anticipates the count. And in tonight's game, the Chiefs feel.
Offsides, number 58 defense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
They feel they have a read on Neil O'Donnell. They think as soon as O'Donnell's left arm moves, the ball is going to be snapped, and they're guessing a little bit.
You were talking about that driving over. There goes that theory out the window.
Yeah, you're right. But they're guessing a little bit on the snap count. And Neil O'Donnell has done a nice job, and give Bill Cowher some credit. He knows that Derek Thomas guesses a little bit on the snap count, and they've changed it up.
We've been told that Barry Word has a sprained left ankle, questionable for the rest of the game. 3rd down, a yard, and Hodge will get the first down as he crosses the 30 to the 29-yard line. So the penalty certainly helped the Pittsburgh cause here as they'll mark the ball at the 29-yard line. Just underway, 2nd quarter, 7-0 Pittsburgh.
You know, Gary, both of these teams this season have had difficulty scoring in opponents' territory. And I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers, when they get inside the 20, I think it's more difficult for them to score. I think if they're going to throw a touchdown pass, they're more apt to do it outside the 20-yard line.
Foster and Hodge in the backfield. Stone goes in motion. Foster, and cut from behind by Neil Smith. He has such long arms, and they paid off there. He is 6'4", and then he plays at about 6'8" with those long arms.
Well, you know, Neil Smith said, too, that he had a feel on Touch Elkin. Here he is right here. He feels he knows when it's a run by just the stance of the man in front of an Elkin. He throws away the tight end on that play, throws away Hodge, and then makes a play. And you're right, with arms like that, even when Neil Smith gets blocked sometimes, he's going to make some plays.
2nd down now, 13 yards to go. O'Donnell to Dwight Stone, and he throws it out of the field of play. Coverage that time by Albert Lewis, the veteran corner. Stone is their fastest wide receiver, had 2 touchdown catches Monday night against Cincinnati.
Well, this is what's going through, I think, Neil O'Donnell's mind right now. I'm in 3rd and 13. You know you're going to have Derek Thomas racing on your backside. So you're going to get rid of the ball quickly. You hope you're going to be able to pick up the first down, but if you don't, you're not going to take the sack, for one thing, and give your field goal kicker another 8 or 10 yards to negotiate.
And Gary Anderson's one of the best. 3rd and 13. O'Donnell, quick release over the middle, and he tried to hit that mammoth tight end Eric Green, who's playing with a shoulder harness. He has a torn rotator cuff, and it really does not give him the ability to reach out or reach up like he'd like to.
Well, Gary, I thought you said it well this week when you said, hey, who would have thought the Steelers could be 4-2 when Eric Green has only caught 4 passes for the Steelers this year? I mean, you figure he has got to be a big force for this team, yet only 4 catches.
49-yard field goal attempt. Anderson's longest of the year, 42. And the kick is going to make it through the uprights, and Pittsburgh now has taken a 10-0 lead. Gary Anderson, so accurate through the years, has added 3 more.
My last business Nowhere. In the middle of nowhere. Every day, 2 million travelers set out to do business.
Last year I traveled 65 days.
Who would know better what they need than Holiday Inn?
I always rehearse my presentation. In front of the bedroom bathroom mirror.
We make them feel welcome in so many ways. Maybe that's why more business travelers stay with us than anyone else.
What I miss most is my children.
Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know who really knows you.
As a truck company for 90 years, we understand the value of a strong frame. A reassuring strength for towing, whether you're on road or off road. GMC Truck, the strength of experience.
Oh, BKTV couldn't get any better chilling in Mount Rushmore. With 4 dead presidents. I love this place. All right, now you guys listen up. I'm only going to say this once. You get a choice. Or the chicken fillet, the steak sandwich, or the fried shrimp.
And of course, somebody could have had the Whopper basket. They're dinner baskets, and they're new.
George wants the steak sandwich. Thomas wants the chicken. And Teddy's doing shrimp. Abe hasn't made up his mind yet. But you better hurry up, because table service is only from 4 to 8. They're having it their way. Unison. We love this place. Did you hear it?
Tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, TNT presents Gunfight Monday Night. 4 shoot-'em-up westerns, beginning with Kirk Douglas and Burt Lancaster, and Gunfight at the OK Corral. That's Gunfight Monday night, tomorrow at 8 Eastern on TNT.
That's how Kirk Douglas got that cleft in his chin. That's how he got a shot right there in the
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know that. I've always wondered about that. Anderson kicking off. This will be Harvey Williams, and he's returning a lot of kickoffs now because Dale Carter is playing more in the secondary, and they're splitting the duties. 10-0 Pittsburgh. We're going to take a break. 13-10 to go in this first half. The Chiefs have lost 3 in a row to this Pittsburgh team.
The NFL on TNT is brought to you by GMC Truck, the strength of experience, and by Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know.
If you want a beer that drinks easy like a light and has real draft taste, why not make a change for the better? Refreshingly different, but dry. Bud Dry is one beer that drinks easy like a light and has real draft taste. So why not come around to something refreshingly different? Try Bud Dry.
We asked a panel of experts how it feels to play NCAA basketball for Super NES. Here's what they said. The experts agree. The game that's more like their game is NCAA basketball, part of the growing sports lineup for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you're playing with power.
Does that answer your question?
Superpower.
Pittsburgh leading the Chiefs 10-0, 13-10 to go in this second quarter. It's time now for tonight's GMC Truck Leaderboard, and it involves Eddie Murray, you just saw in the background. 4th all-time most accurate field goal kicker. Number 1 is on the sideline in civilian clothing, Nick Lowry.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Nick Lowry was saying before the game that he said, I can't believe Eddie Murray is not kicking for someone. He said he is still as good as 3 or 4 kickers in the league today.
Lowry says, I've never been on the sideline. He'd kicked for 187 consecutive games. He said, I don't know how to act. He had hurt the leg a couple of weeks ago, tried to kick against Dallas, had a very difficult time. They have a bye week next week, so they think that will give him the additional time to be ready to go. Looks like the umpire may be having a shaky moment. Fiffick again. Let's see if he can continue. Say, this is a tough enough game to play.
Yeah.
You got helmets and shoulder pads and all the other gear.
Look at him. There he is, old number 57 running out there. Looks good running out. Got a nice little gate. Now, this is the 12th first down play we have in the game. And obviously nobody's tossing that ball around there like kidney stones again. Nobody passing there on first down.
Well, Krieg is 1 of 5 for 9 yards.
Yeah.
From the 20, Chiefs trailing by 10. Christian Okoye now is in the backfield. McNair will go in motion. On first down, Krieg will try to hit Jonathan Hayes, his tight end, and the former Iowa standout can't hang on. He's caught only 2 passes this year. They don't throw that much to him. He's known for his blocking, an excellent blocker at that tight end spot.
Well, these are the kind of plays, though, that you need to get some momentum. I mean, the Chiefs have gotten very little out of a passing game, and when they've gotten it, there's been some sort of penalty or another. But that was a well-thrown ball there by Krieg. If Hayes catches that ball, I think he turns up the sideline and makes a first down because there was nobody out there.
Okoye stays in the backfield. A lot of shifting around. 2 tight ends, Cash and Hayes in the game. Okoye, and they destroyed that one. Very good movement up front. Off the ball quickly was Greg Lloyd along with the forward wall of Pittsburgh.
But Marty Schottenheimer has patience with the running game, and that's what it takes. It really does. It's not like the passing game where early in a game you can throw to a receiver and he can be wide open. In the run game, it takes some time. It takes some time. You see number 895 Lloyd, who was really an outside linebacker and guessed perfectly. And the reason it takes some time, Gary, to get the running game going is offensive linemen, it takes a while for them to get the feel of how defenders are going to react.
They use the word rhythm, don't they?
Yeah.
3rd down and 12. Greg's in trouble. Down he goes. That's the 9th sack of the year for the Steelers, and Greg Lloyd comes up with number 2.5.
And Greg Lloyd said last night, to think about our defense, we're not very big, but you're going to have 11 guys coming after the ball. And Greg Lloyd has done that in the last 2 plays for sure. Same kind of stunt. The play earlier came from outside, ran up the middle to stop the run. The same stunt, he comes up and sacks the quarterback.
24th sack of the Chiefs. Last year, they gave up 21 the entire year. Barker to punt. And Woodson is back. And you know that Schottenheimer and company's concerned about this. This is not well kicked. And Woodson having a tough time. It bounces by, and the Chiefs get a break. A huge break. Dale Carter down there, and it'll be rolling dead at the 33-yard line. And so Barker did not punt well, but he comes up with a 61-yarder. It was not artistic, but obviously very effective. 19 yards on the roll. Woodson having a little trouble with this artificial surface. Earlier, returning one 80 yards for a touchdown.
Everyone who buys a carpet at Washington Floors is impressed with our Carpet One guarantee.
This guarantee is amazing. I mean, it covers everything. It's quality, the price, stain resistance. It even covers installation.
With the 6-point Carpet One guarantee, Washington Floors assures your total satisfaction.
Well, with that Carpet One guarantee, you really can't go wrong.
You know, you never know what can happen, and a guarantee is very important. The guarantee makes me feel very secure.
Come to Washington Floors.
If you're buying a car and you want to go far with the money you've got in your pocket, you'll get the best deal on a new set of wheels if you buy your next car at the Rocket.
Like a new 92 Oldsmobile S 4-door, now with $1,500 cash back. And important features like a quad-4 engine, automatic air, tilt cruise, AM/FM stereo cassette, and more. Just $12,995 or $259 a month.
Chevrolet Olds and Geos you'll find at the Rocket in Shelby on Route 39.
Did you know that you can get 2 McDonald's McChicken sandwiches for just $2?
Nobody can sell 2 chicken sandwiches for $2.
McDonald's can.
Are they throwing in the Brooklyn Bridge, too?
No, really. It's a special limited time offer. Get 2 McChicken sandwiches for just $2.
You sure this is real?
It's for real.
Yeah, right, and I'm Henry VIII.
Hey, he was a hungry guy. He'd like to get 2 McChicken sandwiches for just $2. So how about lunch, Your Highness?
You are a prince.
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Pittsburgh Pittsburgh 10, Kansas City nothing. Be sure to join us next Sunday night from our nation's capital as we close out our NFL on TNT. RFK Stadium, the Washington Redskins and the New York Giants. Hope you'll be with us. Barry Foster in the backfield. First down for O'Donnell, and that one is going to be skipping at the feet of Dwight Stone, incomplete. Second down coming up. O'Donnell, you mentioned, has not played all that much to have the kind of poise he has. He feels that one guy that helped him with it was Bobby Ross when he played for him at Maryland.
You know, Bobby Ross has done that for a lot of guys, but I think when you watch Neil O'Donnell, he has enough of a bunch of different attributes to say, hey, this guy has a future. I mean, he's got enough of ability to be able to scramble around the pocket. He's not going to outrun people or get a second chance. He's got a strong arm, and he is composed.
A little delayed handoff to Foster, and Foster has Salamua wrap him up as he's able to negotiate the 39-yard line, 4 yards short of the first down. Little sprint draw handoff that time to Foster.
You know, Gary, Barry Foster, I think, said something kind of interesting last night. He was saying, hey, I've got great respect for offensive linemen. He said, you know, you see what's happening to Barry Sanders there at the Lions with the problems they're having in the offensive line. But he says, I have great respect for these guys. And as the game wears on, I have a real feel for my offensive line, which of my offensive linemen are dominating their man, and then I run or cut to that lineman.
Third down and 4 for Pittsburgh. O'Donnell will dump it off to Leroy Thompson, and Thompson's going to get the first down, breaks 2-3 tackles across the 50, and he's into the Kansas City end at the 48. And Thompson showing how tough he is to bring down a 13-yard gain.
And Gary, the reason that play was successful, Carlton Hasselrig, number 77, the right guard, does a wonderful job, really, of blocking two men. First, it was at the line of scrimmage on a screen, and then he kicks his man out right there, and Thompson cuts in right behind it. So it's the kick out by Hasselrig and Leroy Thompson reading that block, setting it up to pick up the first down. That's good teamwork.
First down at the 48 of Kansas City. Dwight Stone in motion, Foster straight ahead, and he darts forward for 8, maybe 9 on the play. Tracy Simeon making the stop, and I think Foster's getting the feel for this game. He is really running hard now.
Well, the thing about Barry Foster, too, you see how many 100-yard games he has. 4 that is updated through today, 400-yard games this season. And remember, he's only played 6, so he's had a big year.
His best was 190. Second down and 3. Foster again, and number 29's got the first down as he's to the 36-yard line of Kansas City. Salamua making the stop. And so right now, and this shouldn't surprise you, Bill Cowher is taking a page out of Marty Schottenheimer's running book.
Well, it's really Ron Earhart, and it's the old Giants, the Giants of 1990 that won the Super Bowl. They want to play with two. There's Ron Earhart in the headset. They want to play with 2 tight ends. They want to run some run back. They want to one-back formations. If they get 17 to 20 points on the board, they take the air out of the football, and they just continue to run it.
First down, Foster remains in the backfield. Barry again, and Barry this time spins outside, and there is a very resourceful run as he takes it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
You were about to say that he was just about stopped, weren't you?
I think everybody here, all 77,000, thought he was stopped.
But here's one of the things the Steelers have is great big old tight ends. Adrian Cooper, number 87, on Neil Smith, who's a large man in his own right. And there comes Foster spinning out. But it was set up by the block of Adrian Cooper. And as we said, if the Steelers are going to win the Central, Adrian Cooper and Eric Green, their 2 tight ends, have to be forces.
Second and 3. Stone goes in motion. And we have an end-around reverse to Stone, and O'Donnell throws a block. And Stone has his head almost taken off, but he's got the first down to the 19. Neil O'Donnell did get in the way of Albert Lewis. Wasn't an artistic block. A 10-yard gain on the play by Dwight Stone.
You know, Neil Smith, they're running right here at Neil Smith. This time he's going to come inside when the reverse comes around. He gets sucked inside in the play to Dwight Stone. They consider Dwight Stone kind of a tweener, as they call it. He's in between a wide receiver and a running back, and he has some value as a runner, and they'll use him as such.
He started as a running back for the students. Coming out of college. And Foster will be dropped in the vicinity of the 15-yard line. Neil Smith is one of those on the stop. Also Salamul. Salamul may get a lot of tackles. Foster now has carried the ball 9 times for 35 yards.
Yeah, but Barry Foster was saying, like most good running backs, he said, it's when I get to that 15th attempt. You know, from 15 to 25 is where I really make some hay. This is where I feel most productive after that 15th carry.
Second down, 6. O'Donnell in the end zone, incomplete. The intended receiver is Stone. Kevin Ross, the veteran corner, covering on the play.
Boy, was he covering. I mean, Kevin Ross had Dwight Stone covered.
They call him Rock. He is so rock solid, a nasty hitter and a good cover man at the same time.
I thought you were talking about Stone.
The Rock and a Stone,
okay,
right?
Yeah, there you go.
But Stone, interesting about him, he dropped 3 passes Monday night, caught 2 for touchdowns. What did O'Donnell say? He's worth hanging in there with. Keep getting the ball to him because of his big playability.
Here comes another one of those Derek Thomas type of downs. You got to protect yourself from Derek Thomas and Neil Smith on this down.
He's hit only one of his last 6. 3rd and 6. Being flushed out by Albert Lewis. He got rid of it. The catch is made by Ernie Mills coming back to the ball, and he caught that for more than maybe, 2 yards, 3 yards on the play. It's going to bring up 4th down. Good pressure that time by Albert Lewis.
But it tells you when Albert Lewis is making your pass rush, it's your linebackers and your linemen are not doing it. Good protection even with Lewis coming in, because Eric Green, the tight end, got a piece of Albert Lewis, and that prevented the sack. So heads-up play by Eric Green, the tight end.
30-yard field goal attempt by Anderson, who earlier hit from 49. And Anderson, deadly. Makes it a 13-0 game with 5:55 left to go. And so this Pittsburgh team, after winning on Monday night, ending a 2-game losing streak, looking very impressive in the early going of this one.
So it's Sunday morning. You've read the sports section twice. But kickoff time is hours away. Turn to NFL Preview and run down the day's top action. NFL Preview, Sunday mornings at 11:30 on CNN.
Frederick Miller's finest beer, called for the finest grain. A search that often led far afield. It's an idea whose time has come again. Introducing Miller Reserve, an all-barley draft brewed in the classic tradition. Reserve and Reserve Light. Taste what barley does for beer.
As a truck company for 90 years, we understand the value of a strong frame. A reassuring strength for towing, whether you're on road or off road. GMC Truck, the strength of experience.
Autumn, a time when trees cast new colors. A time for sharing warmth. And at McDonald's, we're doing just that. Sharing the warmth of our new oven-baked apple pies. A cinnamon-dusted crust with golden, delicious apple filling. And now when you buy one, your local McDonald's donates 25 cents to Ronald McDonald Children's Charities, who bring warmth and hope to kids everywhere. Try our new baked apple pie. It's a delicious way to warm your heart.
Steelers with a 13-0 lead. 2 field goals by Anderson. An 80-yard punt return by Rod Woodson as Anderson kicks off to Harvey Williams. And again, there'll be no return as they bring it out to the 20-yard line. The AFC West. Hard to believe it's been 1971 since the Chiefs have won the division title.
Yeah, I was shocked when I read that this week because, you know, you think of the Chiefs being in the playoffs and, you know, Marty Schottenheimer, that one year he won 11 games and such, but they've been trying to catch.
And there's the guy that coached him that year, Hank Stram.
Hankster. Doing a little business on the right side.
Yep, I'm talking about from the 20-yard line. Time of possession, Steelers dominating there. Krieg, thus far, 1 of 6 for 9 yards. Krieg going up top, and that's not even close. Davis was the intended receiver. I don't know if they had a mix-up or what, but it was not close.
Well, I think one thing the Chiefs are going to have to do is change the flow a little bit here, and they have a guy named Harvey Williams who can do that. Now, Marty Schottenheimer said, I wanted to give Barry Word a real going through, but he's been hurt. So Harvey Williams is a guy you have to defend differently when he's in the game, but he's not in there now.
Word on the sideline with that sprained left ankle. Okoye in the backfield with McNair. Comes the guy they call the Nigerian Nightmare, and 260 pounds of him breaking tackles, and that'll give the Chiefs the lift as he's out to the 42-yard line, but there is a penalty flag. 22-yard run. The all-time leading rusher for Kansas City. By face mask against the Steelers. That's the longest run of the year for Okoye.
Yeah, watch Zott here and Grunhard again. They're the guys that really open up a huge hole right here for Okoye. And it's also John Alt, number 76. And Okoye, there's the face mask. Not a guy who necessarily gets out of a straight line. He ordinarily runs on railroad tracks, straight up and down. But that time he put a little move to the outside.
So the penalty moves it across the 45 to the 47, 22 yards, tacked on with the face mask. Krieg double pumping, sidearm, and that almost was 6 for Rod Woodson. Boy, he was laying in wait for that one, wasn't he?
In spite of what happened to Rod Woodson in Green Bay, he is still having a great season. You know, we said it before, and we had the Steelers in the preseason, but if you were going to pick 5 guys to play touch football with, he might be your very first pick, because this guy, Rod Woodson, can do a lot of things awfully well.
And when he went through that adversity in Green Bay, his best friend was Bill Cowher. He talked him through it. Krieg now 1 of 8 for 9 yards. Okoye again, huge hole, and he'll use that. He's got a first down inside the 40 to the 39. 14-yard run, and is he something when he gets full steam running up the middle?
Yeah, but it's Grunhard. It's Grunhard, the center, who is dominating here, the nose tackle. And that is really the difference. He's just clearing out Gary Howe, and that's just too big a hole. Zott, number 79, takes David Little. You see 72 Lutz.
Oh, you see Woodson get run over? He took him down and went up the field about 5 more yards. Okoye again. Okoye will move the pile in the vicinity of the 35 before he stopped there. He held out and missed the preseason. Lost his starting job to Barry Word. Now Word is hurt, and this is his opportunity.
So you could fit Christian Okoye's finesse in a shot glass. He is not going to give you much finesse, but he is a crushing runner, and he really is. And the offensive linemen right now are throwing crushing blocks. And we said Marty Schottenheimer is a guy who's patient with the run, Gary. I mean, the crowd is booing, and he gets stuffed a few times, but he's hanging in there with what he believes will win the game.
Trailing 13-0, 3:51 left in the first half. Second down and 6, an end around reverse to Davis, and that did not fool Gerald Williams, not for a moment.
My.
Can their linebackers Lloyd and Williams run?
But, you know, it's a good call. You have a quick, penetrating defense in Pittsburgh, and one of the ways you try to slow a team down is to run some reverse, run some traps. But Gerald Williams just stays at home. I mean, he was going to run the play down from the behind on the backside. And Gerald Williams is finally playing like the high draft pick he was a few years ago for the Steelers. Disappointed early in his career, but now he's playing the best football of his career.
Loss of 11 yards on the play. Trips formation near side. Craig completes it to J.J. Burden, and Burden is not going to get all that much. He spun back to the 45. Donald Evans is over there to wrestle him down, and it's a 4th down, and Barker will come in.
Okay, I think what has to happen here, Barker can't punt this ball in the end zone and give the Steelers the ball on the 20. I mean, he needs to pooch it down there or get it down inside the 10-yard line, force the Steelers into some poor field position, and then the Chiefs defense has to create a turnover. That's how this game is going to get turned around.
They send Graham and Woodson back to the 10-yard line. Connie Kawhi, who was with the Phoenix Cardinals, is the long snapper. Snapped the last 3 years for Joe Bugle's team. And there's what Pat was talking about. Barker trying to keep this in the field of play, and that was a great effort by Benny Thompson. Thompson, who went to the Pro Bowl because of his special teams play, shows why with that heads-up play.
Well, the Chiefs, under Marty Schottenheimer, have won games on special teams. They've won them on defense. And that's a nice play by Thompson, who's played well as a defensive back this year, too, Gary. Nickelback with 3 interceptions, but
there is a flag, Pat, at the goal line near the pylon. We'll sort this one out. Looks like we're going to do this one again, doesn't it? Unless Tom White's just trying to walk off some calories. We won't speculate what happened. Let's listen and see what he has to say.
Illegal procedure on number 48 on the kicking team. He was out of bounds and was the first one to come back in and touch the ball, which is a violation. 5 yards from the previous spot. Will replay 4th down.
Well, that's the wrong number. He means 46. Okay. He means 46. There's the guy, Benny Thompson. We're going to look at it here on tape.
He's out of bounds there with the left foot. He's way out by a good 2 or 3 yards, and then he's the first guy who touches the ball. So that's why they'll bring it back.
So Barker will get another opportunity to try to kill one.
Yeah, here's another look at him pushing out of bounds. I mean, that ball may have gone out of bounds otherwise, but key thing here, Barker can't punt it into the end zone.
So the penalty now moves the ball back out to the 47-yard line. Barker will be punting from inside the Kansas City 40. And now Bill Cowher wants to know what's going on. He can't be unhappy about that last penalty. Barker has 8 punts inside the 20 coming into this game.
I remember Bill Cowher started as a special teams coach for Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah, in fact, they were talking. Marty says when he was a special teams coach, he would run with them. In other words, they'd kick off to cover, and there were a few officials that were looking for it because he'd run over them out of the field of play.
Yeah, it was like they had 12 guys covering the kickoff. I mean, he'd be knocking officials down, and all the headsets would get all messed up. And
what a communicator he is. As Barker now will try it again. This one he's hitting more into the field of play if it's not too far, and it's going to be tapped back by Benny Thompson. And they're saying that he didn't get the job done. It's a touchback. Thompson almost pulled this one off. So they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line as a 2-minute warning is here. 47-yard punt. The Steelers leading 13-0 will start from the 20-yard line.
Dealerships in Mansfield lets you choose from both new Chevys and new Fords, plus Jeep and Eagle. Graham's has an excellent selection of new trucks. Whether you choose a new Ford, Chevy, or Jeep, you get the guaranteed lowest prices at Graham's and best selection. That's also true when it comes to new cars by Chevy, Ford, and Eagle. You get more for your money and bigger selection. That's why buying is easier. Graham Chevy and Graham Ford Jeep Eagle in Mansfield.
In 1908, my grandfather opened a store dedicated to providing quality furniture, value, and personal service.
Today, Shelby Furniture isn't the biggest in the area, but we've never lost sight of Grandpa's goal. Whether you're looking for furniture, accents, carpet, or drapery, we have a knack for choosing the styles that people like. Your furniture is an investment in your home and your comfort. Trust Shelby Furniture, where we still care. Shelby Furniture in downtown Shelby, just minutes from Mansfield.
Are you comparing apples to oranges? You are if you're comparing Al Rosso Ford Mercury with any other Ford dealer. The biggest difference here is value for your dollar. All of our cars are well equipped, not stripped to the bare bones and advertised at a misleading low price. We order in nicer cars because our customers want it that way. It's just something to think about when you're buying your next car. Al Rosso Ford Mercury, 40 Mickey Road in Shelby.
Gary Bender, Pat Haden, Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, where the Steelers lead at 13-0. They led 7-0 after one quarter. And now we're going to bring you tonight's U.S. Marine Corps scoreboard. As we look at today's action in the NFL, there are no more unbeaten teams in the NFL as the Dolphins went down to defeat. What a big upset at the hands of the Colts. Very interesting day. And, of course, Kansas City very interested that San Diego defeated Denver. Barry Foster, and with sheer strength, got a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd and 8. That was Lonnie Martz on the stop. See the Seahawks losing to the Giants, and so we'll see the Giants next week against the Redskins. And Mark Rippon showed great courage in that game in the Metrodome. He took some shots today for the Vikings and pulled out the victory. Chip Lohmiller with 5 field goals. We'll be back. 13-0 Pittsburgh.
Information system is nothing to tinker with. You need the right hardware, software. You need connectivity, compatibility, lands and comprehensive service and support. To maximize productivity, you need to make all the pieces fit. You need Sears Business Centers with IBM products. That's right, Sears Business Centers. Call today to learn more about the new IBM PS2 computers with microchannel and discover why IBM considers us their top connectivity reseller.
As a truck company for 90 years, we understand the value of a strong frame. A reassuring strength for towing, whether you're on road or off road. GMC Truck, the strength of experience.
13-0. I don't know if you know or not, but our director, Lonnie Dale, is from Kansas City. There's his lovely wife, Tanya, and the daughter, Tori, who just disappeared from sight.
He fumbled the baby. Tori. My goodness.
Boy, I'm sure glad Tori took after his mother, aren't you, rather than Lonnie?
But she's got the red and she's got the chop going, Tori does.
2nd down and 7 now for Pittsburgh. They have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Late handoff to Foster, and Derek Thomas gets a piece of it as he's able to lunge forward to the 25. And look at the rest of the scores here. We're going to have a timeout called now. Kansas City asking for the timeout.
As rightfully they should, because this becomes a very important down for Kansas City. And they're trailing 13-0, 1:35 remaining in the half. Just the 1 timeout remaining. So now they're at 3rd and, what is it, Gary? 3rd about 7, 6 or 5?
Let's make it 6. 3rd down and 6.
Man, and this is, again, where guys like Derek Thomas and Neil Smith need to make a play.
Bill Cowher leaning on the experience of Ron Earhart. Cowher is 35. Ron is 62. He's been 20 years in the National Football League.
And, you know, what Ron Earhart is saying now, too, is we're going to double at least one of the two, of Neil Smith or Derek Thomas. because you can't afford the sack from the backside. That's where the fumbles come.
Line of scrimmage just short of the 25-yard line. 13-0 Pittsburgh. Third down, a long 5, almost 6. Eric Green, the Mammoth tight end. There's a flag on the play. He has the first down catch if it stands out to the 41-yard line.
So what a physical mismatch, though, when Eric Green is out there as a wide receiver. I mean, the defensive backs look like midgets, really. It's unbelievable.
It's going to come back. When he gets healthy, they'll have the kind of receiver that Earhart had and Russ Francis and Mark Bavaro.
Illegal formation. Number 62 on the offense. He's not on the line of scrimmage.
Second
5
time.
yards, previous spot. Replay third down.
Second time that's happened tonight. Once for Kansas City, and that time on Tunch Ilkin.
Ilkin, by the way, is only 4 months younger than Bill Cowher, his head coach. I don't think he liked the fact I brought that up, but Tunch making the mistake there, and that will set it up now. Third down and 10.
This is the biggest down of the first half right now for Kansas City.
Flushed out as O'Donnell. Derek Thomas giving chase, and we could have an intentional grounding here, are we? Yep, here it comes. That was inevitable. There was nobody there, but Derek Thomas made O'Donnell get rid of the football. That's loss of down and 10 yards.
Now, they tried to block Derek Thomas there with, really 2 different guys. But he just refused to be blocked. I mean, think about Derek Thomas. He is just a determined player. Now, ordinarily, he's going to go outside. That time, he faked outside, comes inside, goes off the block of Dawson, and then hurries Neil O'Donnell.
So now Royals will go back into the end zone and punt it away. Dale Carter will receive. It's a beautiful punt. Carter will have a return. Fumbles it. He's able to get on top of it, very fortunately, because Ernie Mills was there instantaneously to hit him. 55-yard punt. They'll set that one up at the 38.
Well, you know, Dale Carter had a punt return for a touchdown earlier this year. I mean, he's a guy, as a rookie, their #1 draft pick, can come up with some big plays. At that time, he just took his eye off the ball. And now Dave Krieg has to go a long way. Now, and remember, Dave Krieg is working with a new kicker, Eddie Murray.
And he also has only 1 timeout as he'll start this from the 38. Coming up, the Fruit of the Loom halftime report. Bob and company catches up on what happened earlier today. 1:15 left in this first half. Across the 45 out to the 48, very close to a first down. McNair has been a very good third down back and down to the end of the game back for him. It is going to be a first down, the clock running. Murray's long career-wise is 54 yards, and they're getting close now as McNair takes that one out of bounds. At the 38-yard line, another first down for Kansas City, a 14-yard pickup.
The Kansas City backs, they really have 5 good ones. They can pound with you at Barry Word and Christian Okoye. Their third down back this year has been Todd McNair, and he just has a feel. You see the inside move he put on Hardy Nickerson, the linebacker, 54. He breaks outside away from the linebacker and picks up the first down and gets out of bounds.
Down from the 38. McNair again. Got a block, and he'll get inside the 35-yard line. Clock running, and now Craig's going to use his final timeout.
Well, right now you're looking at about a 53 or 4-yard field goal.
Well, in all fairness to Murray, of course, he has not kicked in competition since a year ago. He was a kicker 12 years. But he was working out in the Detroit area, kicking 2 days a week, kicking about 50 or 60 balls. He has a career long of 54. And as you said earlier, Nick Lowry just thinks this guy should have been playing all year long. Can't understand why he has not been on somebody's roster.
But well, if you're Dave Krieg right now, you're still thinking touchdown. It's only second down, and you have 39 seconds. If you're going to throw the ball, it's got to be an outside route primarily, but you'd like to take maybe a shot or two into the end zone, and then you come back with Eddie Murray. 51-yard field goal attempt from here for Murray. But I have to be thinking they're still thinking touchdown.
Spotter Tom Delnos watching the field goal kicking early, and he said Murray hit a couple from 52 yards away. So he still has that form that's been so good for him.
Yeah, that's in pregame with no rush. I mean, that's,
it's like singing in the shower, right? The national anthem, that is.
But I think what Dave Krieg is thinking about is trying to hit one of those receivers, because he has speed receivers on the move, crossing the defense.
The delay is they've added some time on the game clock now to 40 seconds. Second down, 6. Coming from Gerald Williams, and it's incomplete intended for McNair. Gerald Williams, though, was the one that changed the whole rhythm on that play as he was coming up the middle.
Okay, both Gerald Williams and Greg Lloyd have done a terrific job of coming up the middle with pressure. See, 95 and 57, they're outside linebackers. They come on the inside stunts, though, and they've had some success tonight, stunning from the outside and then coming right up the middle, both Greg Lloyd and Gerald Williams.
What it amounts to, Pat, is the quickness of Pittsburgh against that mammoth offensive line of Kansas City, and right now the speed and quickness is getting the better of it. On third down, Craig on the far side, and that ball is out of bounds. The catch was made, but it will not stand. Good effort that time by Willie Davis.
Well, the difference in this game thus far has been third down. Kansas City has averaged over 11 yards to go on third down. And you're not going to make a living doing that. You know, he just threw that too far away from the defender. And the receiver, quite honestly, didn't give the quarterback enough room to throw the out route. I mean, if you're going to run the out, give the quarterback a little room to throw it.
Well, 52 yards is what this is going to be, and that's what Murray was hitting in the pregame drills. Kick is on the way. It hit the horizontal bar and made it through.
It used to be called the crossbar, but that's good. It's good anyway. He wasn't making them by much in the pregame, and he didn't make that one by much, but nonetheless, it's still 3 points. I tell you, that thing came out of there low. Yeah, but the backside of the crossbar.
Boy, he couldn't have been any more dead center, could he?
No, yeah. Never a doubt. That wasn't even the crossbar. It was the hoop bar there.
The what?
The hoop bar. The post.
The goal support.
you got horizontal ones. You got uprights. You got the hoop bar.
Well, Murray has paid a dividend. They signed him for this game. Nick Lowry not able to go, and Murray with a 52-yarder.
And as good as the Kansas City Chiefs defense is, there's Nick Lowry. They have a chance. I mean, that's a huge score for the Chiefs. Yeah, it's only 3 points, and they still trail by 10. But it gives you a feeling of hope. And with this defense that Kansas City has, they can be in any football game because they're, just a sack away from another turnover.
So Murray now will be kicking off with 26 seconds now left in this first half. First 6 games this year, Kansas City allowed only 29 points. The last 2, 27. This is Hooper, the big tight end, and he'll be knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 23 seconds left in the half.
Well, I don't think you're going to see Neil O'Donnell throw this ball up, quite honest, for grabs. He's only thrown the 3 interceptions all year. They're comfortably ahead now by 10 points. I mean, I think when both these teams go in at halftime, the Chiefs are going to have to figure out a way to get some yardage in the air. They have not thrown the ball well. And one of the things they're going to have to do is figure out the stunts, the pass rush of Greg Lloyd and Gerald Williams.
That's a statistic I was just talking about a while ago. First down, and they'll take a snap and end it. That was the longest field goal by a Kansas City Chief since 1987 to get them on the board. But Bill Cowher, familiar territory for him. 3 years a defensive coordinator for Marty Schottenheimer, has taken Pittsburgh into the Arrowhead Stadium area and has a 13-3 halftime lead. Fruit of the Loom halftime report coming up. Stay with us here at Arrowhead.
We want something like this Pontiac we saw the other day. It was a 4-door Grand Prix, all white, really nice. But we need a special deal because we don't have a big down payment, and we're trying to stick to a budget. You know, we need to make a smart buy. We've got like $239 a month, but how can you get a new Grand Prix for that?
You can right now at one of your 48 Northern Ohio Pontiac dealers, where a new 1993 Grand Prix sports sedan is just $239 per month.
Could you have it ready today?
Hi, I'm Bob Gandy. Since 1966, R.J. Gandy has been the leader in the hearing health care field, offering a wide selection of hearing instruments to better fit the needs of our patients. Our ability to offer hearing instruments from many manufacturers means more satisfaction for our patients. Find out why patients are loyal to R.J. Gandy by calling us now for a consultation on your hearing needs. We're here to do the very best for our patients.
Project Weather. 3 tools for teaching from the Weather Channel. The Weather Classroom, a textbook and activity workbook, plus a regular on-air program for the study of basic meteorology. Video documentaries and teacher guides with an in-depth look at weather phenomena and the environment. Severe weather preparedness for the protection of home, school, and the community. Project Weather from the Weather Channel. Find out how you can use these valuable resources in your classroom. Call your local cable operator.
The Fruit of the Loom halftime report is brought on, you know, what he feels that the ruling should be.
This is some kind of modified free agency to replace Plan B. The owners are coming up with a plan.
Well, that's one. First time this year in the first half of play, trailed 13-3. They got the 52-yard field goal by Eddie Murray. Well, this is a huge game because Denver was upset by San Diego 24-21. The Chargers have won 3 in a row. Kansas City with a victory here tonight would pull into a first-place tie with their bye week coming up next week. On the other hand, Houston was able to win today over Cincinnati 26-10, and Pittsburgh wants to keep pace with the Oilers, who they play next week at home.
You know, Gary, I think it's a lot more wide-open year. I mean, when Miami loses today, there is no dominant team in football right now. Certainly the AFC is wide open.
Anderson to kick off. Williams, number 44, back deep for the Chiefs. He hasn't had a chance to bring one out. He will this time. R.B. Williams, a comeback kick a year ago, brings it out to the 23-yard line, and Kansas City will get it going there. They had 88 yards in offense in the first half. And Dave Krieg really struggling in that first half.
Well, you know, you raised an interesting point about Dave Krieg, though. He can look awful at times, and he didn't play well in the first half. But he is the streakiest quarterback that I've seen in the National Football League. But he can get it turned around, too. He can be just as streaky on the good side. But he needs a play or two to get that started.
3 of 12 in the first half for 27 yards. We've just been informed that Barry Word will not return. He had that sprained left ankle. Okoye had a couple of good runs in the first half. Gets about a yard, maybe 2 to the 25-yard line. We mentioned Krieg. Let's look at O'Donnell's numbers after 30 minutes of play.
Well, he's efficient. You know, 6 of 12. He has not thrown an interception. Yes, and You know, the Steelers got in front of that lead. And think, when you think of the Steelers offense, think of the Giants of 1990 when they won the Super Bowl. That's what they're trying to get done. You run the football, you're efficient, you score some points, you get a 10 or 14-point lead, and you continue to run the ball.
Second down, a long 7 for Kansas City. Far side, and J.J. Bird, the intended receiver. And that didn't look good at all. Changing the play, and then the option just didn't materialize, and it'll bring up now still a 3rd down and 7 yards to go.
You know, another 3rd and long for this Kansas City team. And in the first half, they averaged over 11 yards to go on 3rd down. And again, that's not the kind of football Marty Schottenheimer is used to. I mean, they need to be a 3rd and 2 type of team. Otherwise, they're just not going to win.
So 3rd and long, as you just mentioned. That almost is snapped over his head. He gives off instead to Kimball Anders. And Anders dragged down. A very strong tackle by Sammy Walker, who came over and slammed him down. He had a fumble recovery Monday night in that win over Cincinnati, so that was a short-lived series.
So, you know, started with a high snap. But, you know, when you have a defense like Pittsburgh that is penetrating and stunting, and you're getting a lot of white jerseys around the ball carrier, I mean, they can disrupt you, and you're going to have a number of 3 and outs, 3 plays and punt.
Barker, who struggled in the first half from time to time, that average is really misleading. He had a 61-yarder that was just mostly roll. As Woodson back again. And he'll take it out of bounds at the 33-yard line. 43-yard punt, 4-yard return. Well, Ron Earhart has been around a long time in this game, coached in New England with the New York Giants. And look at his influence on this football team as opposed to a year ago.
Yeah, you know, clearly the possession time up, total yards, the rushing yards is significant. I think 143 yards a game is awfully good in the National Football League, and really that's his theory. And then what he really hasn't had yet is the availability of his 2 tight ends because of health reasons for an entire game yet this season.
Foster and Hodge in the backfield. It'll be Foster, and Foster flying forward out to the 39. Joe Phillips, who they acquired as a free agent from the San Diego Chargers. A remarkable story for this guy. He was out of football in 90. He sustained severe head injuries. Some thugs jumped him at a restaurant, kicked him in the head 50 to 60 times. He has a steel plate in his head. Wanted to change his scenery. Just didn't want to play in San Diego anymore, and he's given him some size and strength up front. O'Donnell getting some pressure, and the guy we just mentioned, Joe Phillips, got to him. Inside the 35-yard line.
You know, Joe Phillips was a starter in San Diego. So what you get is a legitimate starter in number 75, Joe Phillips. And again, he's a bull rusher. He's got Carlton Hasselrig, number 77, the guard. He just takes him by that jersey and just pushes him right back into the quarterback, and Hasselrig has no chance.
First sack for the Chiefs, a loss of 5, and it's inside the 34. Third down and 9. O'Donnell, Eric Green, and that'll get him a first down. The 280-pounder takes it to the midfield stripe, a 16-yard pickup on the play.
We talked about size mismatches. I mean, you look for it in basketball, obviously, and here in football when you have Eric Green in the game as well. Martz is 6'1". Green is 6'5". And he can run some patterns as a wide receiver. The little slant, he's a huge target. I mean, you don't necessarily have to throw it right in his numbers because he can move his arms around and become an even bigger target.
He is just mammoth. First down at the 50-yard line. Cooper in motion. Foster left side's got a block. and it'll be dragged down short of the 45-yard line. Percy Snow, who's getting a starting call for the first time this year, after last year being shelled by a motor scooter accident where he broke his ankle. He's just now back to where he was his rookie year.
Yeah, and when Percy Snow is in the game, the inside linebackers all of a sudden become better tacklers, don't they?
He has the hugest legs of any linebacker you'll ever see. They list him at 250, and he's all of that.
I'll look for that from now on, Gary. Thank you.
Yeah, I knew you'd like to know that. Second down and 6. Play handoff to Hodge, ran into his own people, and then gets just inside the 45 to the 44. It'll bring up a third down and a long 4. This crowd at times has been very quiet. And I know the Steelers coming in here were very concerned about the noise and how it would affect their offense as well as defense.
Well, the Chiefs' offense really has not given them a lot to cheer about. I mean, they have really been inept on offense, quite honestly, and they still trail by 10 points. They need, again, a defensive play to get the thing turned around if they're going to.
Third and 4. McDonald feeling the pressure, tries to get it to Green again. Good coverage that time. In particular by Doug Terry, a rookie free agent out of Kansas. It'll bring up a fourth down.
A big rush by Leonard Griffin that time, as well as Derek Thomas. Some protection early, good coverage early, and then he gets some hands up. You see Neil Smith gets that big paw up, and Leonard Griffin's the one who hits Neil O'Donnell. So it was the arms up, really, by Neil Smith that took that pass away.
Royals to punt to Dale Carter. Carter's going to let it hit, and it will make it into the end zone for the touchback. At the 20, Kansas City will have it after a 44-yard punt by Royals.
That's a bad punt. Can't punt the ball in the end zone there.
Pittsburgh, 13-3.
Dealership with small-town hospitality and no high pressure. That's what Donnelly Ford is all about.
Hi, I'm Scott Donnelly. Being the #1 Ford Lincoln Mercury dealer in the area and winner of the Distinguished Achievement Award for customer satisfaction,
our customers know we will take care of them before, during, and after the sale. With our 2 locations, we always have the best selection of Fords, Lincolns, and Mercurys to choose from.
So come in today to Donnelly Ford and Gallion, just 15 minutes from the Richmond Mall, or Donnelly Ford Lincoln Mercury in Ashland, just 15 minutes north on State Route 42.
If you're buying a carpet these days, you're probably concerned about price.
Well, I want something nice, but something that fits my budget, too.
That's just one of the reasons so many people come to Washington Floors.
Prices here are great.
They're the best we've seen, and we've been looking a lot.
Yeah.
Good, low prices on top-quality carpet. At Washington Floors, the best place to buy carpet.
Well, times are tough, but this carpet is a great investment. You know, it's actually adding value to my home.
Just try us once. That's all it will take. At East of Chicago Pizza, West Main Street in Shelby, we specialize in deep pan pizza and fast delivery service. We mix our dough daily and use the freshest ingredients possible to assure you of consistent quality and excellent taste. Try our subs, salads, and breadsticks to make your East of Chicago feast complete. Open Monday through Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 4. Let us deliver our homemade taste to your home. Just try us once. That's all it will take.
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Kansas City Chiefs and the National Football League is prohibited.
Gary Bender, Pat Haden. The Chiefs start from the 20-yard line. Dave Krieg trying to light a fire underneath the offense. Gives it to Okoye, and he thunders out to the 29-yard line. A gain of 8, almost 9 yards. Aaron Jones eventually got in his way. You know, you talked about Dave Krieg. He said, I'm like a 13-year-old rookie. He says, I'm still doing too much thinking.
Well, that's what happens when you get into a new system, and the terminology is completely different. I mean, in Seattle, you might have called the formation red. You get to Kansas City, it's blue. And that's why he says, I'm thinking too much during my preparation during the game.
Okoye on a 2nd and 1 gets the first down. It wasn't easy. As he's across the 30-yard line, Gary Howe, the guy that they activated a week ago due to the injury to Gerald Williams, was there to make the stop.
Oh, Gary Howe is evidence that you could be any size or shape in football and play. I mean, it's one of those sports. Football, unlike basketball or baseball, you can have tall guys and short guys and skinny guys and fat guys, and I mean, they can all play. And there's old Hardy Nickerson with a mouthful of Hardy Nickerson's forearm.
They call Hal Stumpy. He's got a pot belly. That kind of body that does fit into the National Football League.
Plays with a lot of guts, as they say.
Play action by Krieg, and Lloyd is giving chase up the field, and a nice comeback by J.J. Burton. No, he was out of bounds. Krieg did an excellent job staying alive on the play, and then Burton coming back to the ball was out of bounds.
And Greg Lloyd, number 95, has been chasing Dave Krieg all evening. And really, they have not, the Chiefs have not slowed down Greg Lloyd on the inside stunt yet. Lines up as an outside linebacker. It's really not that sophisticated of a stunt. Fakes outside and then comes inside, and he's come clean several times.
Second down, 10, just across the 30. Okoye across the 35, the 40. He's got another official with him, and he's down to the 45, first down.
We're going to run an official.
The umpire is out for the rest of the game. We're almost going to lose another one here on a very similar play.
Man.
Side judge is the guy.
Hey, look how big Christian Okoye is behind David Krieg. I mean, that's a target. And there's Darren Perry, the free safety, saying, gosh, I hope somebody hits him before I have to.
That's Banks Williams, the side judge. We may be down to 3 officials before this game's over. And off to Christian again, and Christian this time on a first down run, able to bring it to the 48-yard line. It'll bring up a second down. So word is out for the rest of the day. Okoye now getting the work, and we'll expect to see Harvey Williams later in the game.
You would think with as well as the Chief team is running the football, they could get some more production out of the play action. Gary, to me, that's the biggest surprise tonight for the Kansas City Chiefs. They have run the ball pretty well, but they have gotten nothing out of play action passes.
Okoye was 68 yards. That's his high for the year. He's going to try to add to it. And he gets to the 50, across the 50 to the 49. Greg Lloyd and David Little make the stop on the 260-pounder. And it'll bring up a third down and still 3 yards to go.
And this is where Todd McNair, number 48 for the Chiefs, has really been a key factor this year. Todd McNair is their third down back. He is a guy that has the feel for running the routes. We saw earlier in the game where he faked inside, broke away from Hardy Nickerson for a first down, and he's the guy I think Dave Krieg will be looking for now.
McNair comes in. Also, Harvey Williams has come in. And we're going to have an official's timeout. We'll take the break. 6:44. Looks like Hardy Nickerson's shaken up, and so that's the reason they will have this delay. 13-3, the Steelers with the lead, and the Chiefs of the third down coming up, and they're 0 for 6, Pat Haden, on third down conversions.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it has been the rush of Greg Lloyd and Gerald Williams. We've talked about that. The other thing is I haven't seen a lot of Chief wide receivers running open. I mean, there's been some good coverage there by Rod Woodson and D.J. Johnson and Carnell Lake and Darren Perry, the four defensive backs for the Steelers.
Davis still on the far side, now sets himself after going into motion, give to Harvey Williams. And Williams, who's missed 2 games this year with a sprained knee, does not get the first down, I don't think. Let's see. Where are they going to mark it?
He is short, but I think Marty's got to go for it.
David Little lost his helmet on that. It's fourth down.
These are some tough yards. These are awfully tough yards down here. I mean, you're going to lose chin straps and helmets and all sorts of things. I mean, heads sometimes. But I think going for it on fourth down is the right call. You're running the ball pretty well. You just got to, you can't have early penetration on short yardage.
They bring Okoye in. This year they're 3 of 5 on fourth down. And here is Okoye, and did he get it? Well, the Steelers say he did not. Donald Evans made the tackle.
And so did Carnell Lake. Well, you know, they tried to go on a quick count. But Carnell Lake was not fooled, and we said you can't have early penetration on a short yardage play. The Steelers got it on that one.
I tell you, Lake is a little shaken, too. He got up very groggy on that play, and they're going to measure to see if, in fact, it is going to be Pittsburgh's football. Boy, you'd think at a 260-pounder you could get a yard, couldn't you? And they did not get it. Pittsburgh will take over at the 46.
And the reason they didn't, Donald Evans just did a sensational job of stunning him. Here he is. He's going to get off right in here and get the quick stop on Okoye before he has a chance of getting going. I mean, he refuses to be blocked, and that's a 245-pound back. He stops short of the first down.
Nazi fortress.
I think we can handle that.
With a little help from their friends.
You come fully prepared.
And a lot of TNT. Where Eagles dare. After the NFL on TNT.
In our form of racing, it takes about 5,000 horsepower to go from a dead stop to 285 miles an hour in less than 5 seconds. And even under those loads, the oil film holds up. I've been using Pennzoil for over 30 years now, and I've never had a lubrication problem. Well, I would highly recommend Pennzoil to other people. Yeah, it's sure worked good for me. Every record I've ever set in my life has been on Pennzoil. Performance, protection, quality. That's what Pennzoil means to me.
Autumn, a time when trees cast new colors. A time for sharing warmth. And at McDonald's, we're doing just that. Sharing the warmth of our new oven-baked apple pies. A cinnamon-dusted crust with golden, delicious apple filling. And now when you buy one, your local McDonald's donates 25 cents to Ronald McDonald Children's Charities, who bring warmth and hope to kids everywhere. Try our new baked apple pie. It's a delicious way to warm your heart.
Well, remember, at 5:30, a 4th and 1, the Steelers holding. As you're looking at the Steelers coaching staff, Marvin Lewis, the linebacker coach, Don Keepers, the defensive coordinator, they had to be pleased with that stand.
And Steve Furness, the defensive line coach, has to be awfully happy with the way Donald Evans played on that 4th down.
Steelers start from the 46, their own. Foster, protecting the football, gets a couple of yards. You know, we've had no turnovers in this game, and both of these teams have had success this year with the takeaways. Chiefs had 18 coming into the game, have a plus 12 on the giveaway takeaway, yet tonight not able to produce any.
Well, you know, you watch Barry Foster as a runner. I mean, he secures the ball. I mean, you think about it, he can run from tackle to tackle, and he can get hit by a lot of people, but he does not turn the ball over much because he's got it secured.
2nd and 8, O'Donnell and Jeff Graham, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. We've been told that Harvey Nickerson, who left the field a moment ago, has gone in for x-rays, and we'll get an update on him as soon as possible.
Gary, give Ron Earhart some credit, too, the Steeler offensive coordinator. They came in and said, we can't let Derek Thomas get started and be the guy. Well, Derek Thomas tonight has 3 tackles. And then they said, hey, we got to stop Neil Smith, too. Neil Smith has 2 tackles. So the offensive game plan and the offensive linemen have done a wonderful job.
O'Donnell, a little shovel pass to Green, and the Chiefs were not fooled for a moment. shovel pass to Green, and Derek Thomas was there, and that was a very heads-up play by the all-pro linebacker.
Derek Thomas has always been a great pursuit guy. And he's got closing speed, a lot like a defensive back. I mean, he's got closing speed. You look like you're going to have a hole. You have an opportunity to run, but the hole closes very quickly.
Royals hits this one to Carter. Carter's going to take it at the 5, 10, 15, and out he goes at the 20. Very awkward as he was hit and knocked down there. A 16-yard return after a 47-yard punt. Richard Shelton was over there to make the stop on the special teams. So Krieg and the Chiefs, somehow they need to get something going. They'll start from the 20-yard line.
Alka-Seltzer Plus Nighttime now has a maximum strength cough suppressant and a maximum strength antihistamine. So you get the relief you need to rest without alcohol. Alka-Seltzer Plus Nighttime. Tough medicine without alcohol.
Napoleon, what was your hand in the jacket? People are talking.
Josephine, my briefs are killing me.
Oh, I have just the thing.
Fruit of the loom. Hey, c'est magnifique, eh?
For classic comfort, take Fruit of the Loom briefs. Your business information system is nothing to tinker with. You need the right hardware, software. You need connectivity, compatibility, lands and comprehensive service and support. To maximize productivity, you need to make all the pieces fit. You need Sears Business Center's Network Integration Division. That's right, Sears Business Centers. Call to find out about the new Hewlett-Packard LaserJet 4 printer, HP's highest quality laser printer designed to give you optimal performance for PCs and network environments.
My last business trip was in the middle of nowhere. The middle of nowhere.
Every day, 2 million travelers set out to do business.
Last year I traveled 65 days.
Who would know better what they need than Holiday Inn?
I always rehearse my presentation. I always in front of the bedroom mirror.
We make them feel welcome in so many ways. Maybe that's why more business travelers stay with us than anyone else.
What I miss most is my children.
Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know who really knows you.
Pat, we talked about Dave Krieg being the final component. The guy could take him to the next level. Well, he needs to do that tonight, this very game, to get this offense going.
You know, we've also talked about him being an incredibly streaky quarterback, and he can get it going. We've seen him do that before. But remember 2 years ago when he was a Seattle quarterback and he came in here and he was tackled 7 times, sacked by Derek Thomas. But with 4 seconds remaining in the game, he threw a winning touchdown pass. He need to do it again tonight.
From the 20 now, the Chiefs trailing 13-3. Play action by Krieg. And nobody's open, and Johnson picks it off. D.J. Johnson to the 10, to the 5, and he's going to go out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. There was just nobody open again, and D.J. Johnson, who had 2 interceptions against the Jets, has his 3rd of the year.
Gary, you could not have covered that play any better than D.J. Johnson, because this was a well-run route and a pretty well-thrown ball. But D.J. Johnson read the out the whole way. You see the side judge there watching to make sure he doesn't go out of bounds there. But that was a perfectly timed interception by D.J. Johnson. You know, a lot of guys can get there in front of a receiver. A lot of guys don't catch the ball. D.J. Johnson has good hands for a defensive back.
31-yard return, and after having 12 interceptions in the 3rd game, they had gone the last 2, not able to get it. Now they come up with one. And movement. Smith again. He and Ilkin having a collision there. So 13 interceptions this year now for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
False start. Number 62 offense. Moving prior to the snap. 5 yards, still first down.
A touchdown right now by Pittsburgh. The way the Pittsburgh defense is playing will put this game out of reach, Gary. So that's why that penalty is so critical. I mean, Ron Herrard says, I like to put 17 to 20 points on the ball, on the board, and then take the air out of the ball and run it.
First and goal now after the penalty out the 7-yard line. Play action. O'Donnell rolling, completes it to Adrian Cooper. A fine open field tackle just inside the 5 by Ross. And Cooper is huge and not easy to bring down, but he stopped him.
Kevin Ross has made 2 good plays in the end zone. One in the first half and in the second. Good play fake there to Foster. And then number 31, Ross, comes up late. And then I think Adrian Cooper comes up a little later and gives him the ball in his face. And Kevin Ross says, you can have it right back. No Wilson Burgers to me, please.
Salamu has been shaken up. That's what's happened right now. Dan's going to have to come off the field. Bill Moss will come into the game. Danny a little wobbly.
This, you could say the quarterbacks are not playing well, whatever you want, but this has been a game of some outstanding, and I mean really outstanding, defensive cornerback play. Kevin Ross, Albert Lewis, DJ Johnson, Rod Woodson.
2nd and goal now. The ball will be resting just inside the 4-yard line. To Foster. Foster's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. 4-yard touchdown run for Barry Foster. And Cower now enjoying a 19-3 lead.
Barry Foster gets those shoulders turned, and he gets those shoulders lowered, and he is a very difficult guy to stop. Carlton Hasselrig, number 77, clears away. Dawson, number 63, does his job. Duval Love, number 67. And then Foster, as he was saying to us last night, I find that offensive lineman is doing a job, and then I hug him. He did it that time with Carlton Hasselrig.
4th rushing touchdown of the year for number 29. At the 3:17 mark of this 3rd quarter, Anderson adds a point after, 20-3. Bill Cower, a homecoming for the 35-year-old. They say he's a jut-jawed, very intense guy, a communicator, a motivator, and you see it all on this play right here.
Introducing the new minivan store at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Compare the widest range of America's most popular minivans, all under one roof. Voyager, an outstanding family value. Grand Voyager, even more spacious. The luxurious Chrysler Town & Country. If you're looking for a minivan, any minivan, first see the experts who sold over 3 million. The minivan store, only at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer, where real advantages make a real difference.
Dad, before you read my report card, let me explain.
Just undo it.
There seems to be a problem with your checking account.
Just undo it.
Traffic is backed up for 2 miles on...
Just undo it. At the end of the day, just step into your own private spa and just undo it.
The largest selection of spas in north central Ohio is at Fun Center Pools.
Big dealership with small-town hospitality and no high pressure. That's what Donnelly Ford is all about.
Hi, I'm Scott Donnelly. Being the #1 Ford Lincoln Mercury dealer in the area and winner of the Distinguished Achievement Award for customer satisfaction,
our customers know we will take care of them before, during, and after the sale. With our 2 locations, we always have the best selection of Fords, Lincolns, and Mercurys to choose from.
So come in today to Donnelly Ford and Gallion, just 15 minutes from the Richland Mall, or Donnelly Ford Lincoln Mercury in Ashland, just 15 minutes north on State Route 42.
Bill Cower and the Steelers with a 20-3 lead. They had come into tonight scoring just 6 points in the 3rd quarter all season before they scored that touchdown a moment ago. And Schottenheimer looking for some offense. Harvey Williams out to the 20. Oh, what a shot. The ball comes loose. And did the Steelers get it before it went out of bounds? They were on top of it.
I don't think they had possession.
We have no indication either way right now. What a shot Harvey Williams took. And the officials say it's still Kansas City's football.
Ball belonged to the receivers at the spotted air fumble. 1st down, timeout.
Jerry Osavsky is the guy that makes the hit, Pat. As Harvey Williams had a little crease, tried to cut back, and watch 55 unload right here. The Chiefs are lucky to still have the football.
This score hasn't changed a bit. Jimmy Harris, welcome back. Seen Coach Green lately? A
never thought that man would retire.
He used to say, Harris, tackling is like life. Hit it head on.
Harris.
Coach Gray.
Coach Harris.
Only one beer has the taste as genuine as the people who drink it. Budweiser.
So, you got any advice?
Harris, coaching is like life. Hit it head on.
A noble warrior advised, the art of protection springs from within. One must stay vigilant against one's unfragrant perspiration, lest one provoke a hostile response. Thus, a Norse ritual is right guard sportsman. An aromatic array of the freshest scent and maximum protection against disarming wetness. Confirming the wisdom, the best defense is not to offend. Right guard sportsman. Anything less will be uncivilized.
Napoleon, what was your hand in the jacket? People are talking.
Josephine, my briefs are killing me.
Oh, I have just the thing.
Fruit of the loom. Hey, c'est magnifique, eh?
For classic comfort, take Fruit of the Loom briefs.
This is the runaround. To not get the runaround, call an Allstate agent who promises that after talking with you about your claim, his claims expert will call, usually in an hour. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Pittsburgh 20, the Chiefs 3. That's Harvey Nickerson just coming back from the locker room. Harvey Nickerson, he had a hyperextended left elbow. He had x-rays. His return is doubtful. First down now, just short of the 25. Cash in motion. Craig, J.J. Burton at the 40, 45. And he'll take it to the Pittsburgh 48-yard line. And that may be the big play that could ignite this Kansas City team. A 28-yard gain. You can see he's been averaging close to 20 per catch.
You know, so much of playing quarterback is confidence. And right now, Dave Krieg is struggling with it and for it. And what you need to get back into rhythm and get that confidence going is a couple of plays like this. You throw a little square into your wide receiver, J.J. Burton, and he crosses field, he picks up an additional 10 or 15 yards. So maybe that's the turning play there for Dave Krieg.
See on the end of that play, Lake kind of punched the ball away from Burton out of bounds. That's only the fourth completion of the night for Krieg. Swing pass, led Harvey Williams too far. It'll bring up second down. Every time 17, Krieg backpedals. It seems like either Lloyd or Williams are coming off the corners or in his face.
Yeah, well, you know, as we said, it's the same stunt, too. And what that means is when those guys are coming from the outside, I'm talking about Greg Lloyd and Gerald Williams, and rushing up the middle, it means your nose tackle and your two defensive ends are gunning outside stunts, and they're clearing the lane. They're opening up some lanes, some pass rush lanes for the outside linebackers.
Second and 10 from the 48. Williams in the backfield. Harvey Williams drags a tackler with him for another yard. That was nose tackle Gary Howe along for the ride. He'll be stopped just short of the 45. As Howe getting a lot of duty, alternating along with Joel Steed at the nose tackle spot. Third down coming up and 7.
Gary Howe is a guy that has instant leverage. I mean, he's not tall. He's a short, squatty guy, a perfect kind of build really for a nose tackle because he gets underneath you very quickly, and before you know it, he's in a gap.
Boy, has had a huge stat. 0 for 7 on third down. Goes in motion. Craig's got time. Delivers to McNair. Trying to get the first down. He lunges, and with a good run, is very close to the first down. He needed to get inside the 39.
Look who's hitting him again, though. It's Greg Lloyd. And at that time, Greg Lloyd dropped off in coverage. He's been blitzing. That time he dropped off, and his responsibility was just take some of the short stuff. Parnell Lake gets a shot, and then Greg Lloyd finishes them off.
It's fourth down and a yard.
Okay, last time, and they got in fourth and yard, Donald Evans made a great play. So I think now you run away from Donald Evans.
Okoye was running the ball that time. It'll be Williams this time. Oh, they're going to throw on fourth down. They're going to try to. and he is buried. Krieg loses yardage clear inside the 50-yard line. Greg Lloyd was in his face.
Greg Lloyd is having a sensational game.
Wow. 12-yard loss on the play.
And a perfectly timed blitz. Here's Greg Lloyd who's coming in. Sowski's coming in there as well. And you got a chance when you time it perfectly. Osowski, Lloyd, Kenny Davidson. I mean, that is well-timed a blitz as you're going to have. I mean, you can't block that jailbreak.
So they haven't converted a fourth down tonight. 0 for 2 as Barry Foster now on first down wedges it forward for a couple of yards. 2 fourth downs they've held them.
You see a lot of Barry Foster from here on out from Ron Earhart.
You know what's interesting? They talk about teams being extensions of their coaches. Bill Cowher is such a tough guy, and what toughness this Pittsburgh team is showing us tonight.
You know, they really are. This is a team that, size-wise, are outmatched. I mean, they're undersized defensively. But, you know, Bill Cowher came into the league as a free agent and played his heart out, and he's got his team playing like free agents, if you know what I mean. At least the enthusiasm and the hustle. 11 guys chasing the ball.
In a momentary delay, we had some extracurricular activity going on there for a while. It'll be second down and 8. 30 seconds left in the third. O'Donnell, and coming back trying to make the catch was Dwight Stone, and he cannot get it done. That's third down.
So Barry Foster tonight now has 16 carries. What did he say last night? It's right after that 15th carry I start really getting a feel for the game.
I thought it was interesting. You said, oh, who did you really want to be like? He said, well, I grew up in Dallas, and I wanted to be like Tony Dorsett.
Well, you know, and now kids all over, well, Texas at least, maybe America, watching Barry Foster and saying, hey, I want to grow up to be like Barry Foster. You know, it's always kind of passing the baton.
He loved that when you said that. He grinned. He says, I never thought of it that way. Third down and 8. O'Donnell getting it to Leroy Thompson. Thompson takes a hit in the open field, and that'll bring up a fourth down. Benny Thompson cut the legs out from under him as he tried to reach the 45-yard line.
That's a heck of a play there by Benny Thompson. I mean, he had to fight through some traffic. It was kind of a well-designed screen, but Denny Thompson has made some plays in special teams and on defense tonight, and that was just one of them.
Well, it was 13-3 at half. The Steelers have added 7 to their lead as we go to the fourth quarter.
It's almost time for the dinner basket crowd to come in. Are you ready to go? Get loosened up, Shirley.
I love this place. Dinner at Burger King, and can you believe? It's table service. These are actual people eating actual dinner baskets at Burger King.
They gave us our drinks and we sat down, and minutes later they had everything on the table.
Serve before when?
4 and 8.
And then what do I get beforehand before you bring the food out?
And popcorn.
Popcorn? It's your way right away.
I love this place.
Next time you need a hotel, think twice.
Embassy Suites.
2 big rooms, 1 big suite.
Embassy Suites.
A place to work, a place to play.
Embassy Suites.
Breakfast is free. Evening beverages too.
Embassy Suites.
For twice the convenience, enjoy AT&T in-room long-distance service. Twice the hotel. Call 1-800-EMBASSY.
I drive a race car for a living. I depend on the parts and pieces in my car. And I feel so confident knowing that Pennzoil is protecting the moving parts inside of my engine. Pennzoil's quality and protection give me the confidence I need to do my job without second thought. The protection that Pennzoil offers this race team makes us feel great. That's why I have the confidence to use it on the street and in my race car. I recommend Pennzoil to everybody. Pennzoil, performance, protection, quality.
We began the fourth quarter. This would be a time where Albert Lewis could do his thing, block a punt.
I think the Chiefs have to go for a punt block right now. I mean, their offense is really struggling. You need a double thud to get yourself back in the game.
Albert Lewis has blocked 10 of them in his career. He's lined up right over the middle. Royals to punt. He's number 29. Couldn't get to it. Boy, did he hit this one. And Ernie Mills makes the catch, and he's run over by Yancey Thigpen. And so ends up being a touchback.
I'm not so sure about that one. I thought he caught that ball on the 2-yard line. Isn't it dead as soon as he catches it there?
46-yard punt, and Thigpen, who they picked up from the Chargers, ran over his teammate.
And I thought he caught that ball right there in the 2.
Yes, listen.
He's got possession there. Yeah, that. Well, maybe he didn't hit. No, I didn't hear the explanation there. Didn't hear the explanation, but I thought that ball should have been down on the 2-yard line.
Shows you, though, the hustle they've had tonight. The aggressiveness on every phase of their game.
Well, you know, to win a championship, you have to win in 3 different dimensions: offense, defense, and special teams. Now, I'm not saying Pittsburgh's going to win it all, but they're playing well in all 3 phases.
Craig gives to Harvey Williams. Williams trying to turn the corner. He's got to turn as he comes across the 25-yard line. He's the guy that they use differently than Okoye or Ward. They'll throw to him more. They'll also use him to try to get the corner, while the other guys are more straight-ahead type runners.
Well, you have to defend Harvey Williams differently. I mean, I don't think you can have as linebackers as close to the line of scrimmage when Harvey Williams is in the game. Because if you do, he's going to pop one on you.
Gain of 8, 2nd and 2. Davis split to the near side, Burton to the top of the field. Craig double pumping, double moving on this one to Davis, intercepted as they come up with their interception number 2. It's Darren Perry, the rookie out of Penn State, his 3rd pick of the season.
Well, it was the double pump on Rod Woodson again. We mentioned it. They got the chop going. Rod Woodson sees the double pump every week. Now, he's beaten on this one, but when you have a free safety who can cover some ground like this, in Darren Perry, you got a chance. I mean, here's the guy who started as the 3rd free safety for the Steelers. So you had Thomas Everett, and you had Gary Lewis, who got hurt. Wow.
Look what they've done tonight. They've allowed 38 yards passing, 2 quarterback sacks. Just a moment ago, their 2nd interception. They've stopped them on 2 4th downs. That's a season's work in one night here for this Pittsburgh team. And Perry, who's small but makes big plays, comes up with that interception. White Stone, and Stone going to try it again. And gets across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
But you know, that play there by Darren Perry. I mean, what you need to have is a free safety who, when the ball is in the air, can cover some ground and cover for mistakes. Woodson was beaten, but Darren Perry had enough foot speed to get there and cover the mistake.
First time this year the Chiefs have turned the ball over twice in a game. 12 interceptions in the first 3 for Pittsburgh. And what was it Bill Cowher said? I talked about they might go away, and I didn't mean for that to happen. But now, tonight, they've gotten them back. The turnovers, the takeaways. He slides very wisely as he gets across the 40, and here's a flag. Neil Smith and Derek Thomas were there at the point of contact. We're going to have a personal foul against Kansas City.
I don't know if it was that tough a hit on O'Donnell. He's down there.
Personal foul.
No, I take it back.
Number 90 on the
It's not a tough hit, but when you do it to a quarterback, it's a tough hit. If that hit is on a running back or a wide receiver, it's not called. But it's a double standard in the league. You do it to a quarterback, you get a penalty.
Boy, that's frustration, too. Be sure to join us next Sunday from the nation's capital, RFK Stadium. Our final game in the NFL here on TNT, the Giants and the Redskins. Both teams winning today. The Redskins with 5 field goals from Chip Lohmiller picking up the victory. Hope you'll join us. Great place to do a football game. RFK. First down after the penalty, moves it inside the 45-yard line. Foster and Neil Smith had a piece of him, spins away from him, and then help arrives from Percy Snow. 2nd down coming up. I think coming into this game, Pat, people thought you have a short week, you play a game where you ended a losing streak, You come on the road against a team who had won, what, 21 of the last 28 games here. I don't think people figured this to happen. This is a stunner for this crowd here in Arrowhead. They are stunned their team is down like this.
Well, I think you mentioned earlier that Bill Cowher is a communicator. And I think he got in his team's face and their attention this week for those very facts. He was not going to let them use that as an excuse.
Well, they've responded. 2nd down and 8. Foster gets a block, kick-out block, and then he takes over from there, very close to the first down at the 35.
You know, you think about, we talked about decisions that Bill Cowher made, and one of the things was he wanted to know that he could cut a #1 pick if he wasn't one of the best 47 players. Huey Richardson, he trades to the Redskins. Worley suspended. Ricketts is released. Louis Lips is waived. I mean, and on top of that, he trades his starting free safety from a year ago, Thomas Everett, to Dallas. He names Neil O'Donnell as quarterback. He's made a lot of decisions that have turned out pretty well for Pittsburgh.
From the 35 now, 3rd down and a yard. Foster got it easily, as he is able to get to the 32. 1st down, Pittsburgh.
He really is getting stronger, Barry Foster. You know, and I think offensive linemen do as well. They sense their running back getting into that flow. I mean, Tunch Olken, the right tackle for the Steelers, was saying last night is, the thing about Barry Foster, you don't have to block for him long. He'll find the hole, and then when he does, he gets through it very quickly.
This Pittsburgh team with a big series of games coming up. Houston at home next week. Then they're at Buffalo, but 6 of their last 9 games are in Three River Stadium. Cooper in motion. Foster right side, and a flag on the play as he makes it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. A gain of 4, but the penalty flag back at the 35 against the Steelers.
You know, as you watch the Steelers tonight, as good as they've been, and we talked about some of the scores today, Gary. They're unlike a year ago when Buffalo and the Redskins were the clear-cut favorites from about the 3rd of the season on. This year, I think, the Super Bowl and the championship is wide open, and particularly in the AFC. I really don't believe there's a dominant team.
Well, there's no unbeatens anymore. Miami going down to a defeat today to the Colts.
Holding. Number 62 offense, 10 yards, still 1st down.
Tunch Olken, he's had a forgettable night here. A couple of things going wrong for the veteran. But there hasn't been an awful lot that has not gone well for this Pittsburgh team. 10:45 left in the game. 20-3 Pittsburgh. Cooper comes in motion. O'Donnell setting up a screen. Gets it to Foster. Foster breaks the tackle. Shows his strength. Cuts back and he's to the 30-yard line. That's a lot of running to get a lot of yardage back. Ends up being a 12-yard gain. Joe Phillips eventually made the tackle.
Hey, for a guy who gets pounded a lot and runs the ball as much as Barry Foster does, he really has some soft hands. And just another way of getting him out there and giving him a chance in the open field. Now, Percy Snow is a good tackler. I mean, we talked about that earlier. But usually the first guy is not going to bring Barry Foster down. And you're not going to bring him down with an arm.
Foster with 4 100-yard games coming into this one. 2nd down. 8 yards to go. Here he goes. And Foster to the 25, to the 20, and he has another 1st down. So they got all of that 1st and 20 back. And we do have a penalty flag, though, late inside the 15-yard line. He has 83 yards if that run stands on 20 carries.
You know, a guy who really does enjoy the game. With appreciation, real appreciation for offensive linemen.
At Arkansas, he was in a wishbone and a fullback. And left after his junior year. We're going to have a penalty against the Steelers, so that will bring the run back. Well, we talked about no unbeaten teams. We've talked about so many surprises. So here's tonight's Silver Bullet scoreboard. Looking at the action here in the NFL.
Illegal use of the hands to the head, pushing the back, number 20.
That's to Whitestone.
2nd down.
That'll move the ball back out to the 28-yard line.
That Redskins-Vikings game was something ripping. One time they thought he seriously hurt his knee. Another time he just got dinged really bad, but got him in position for 5 field goals to win it. Colts a surprise. But Miami with 5 turnovers can't win a lot of games that way. Second down and 6, and Bill Cowher can't find too much to be unhappy about as we have 9:12 left in this game. 20-3.
Wouldn't it be great if your neighbor was Wally Dallenbach, the Keystone Beer Winston Cup driver?
Wally, great car.
Want to take it for a spin, Dave? A spin?
And keep her under 170, Dave.
170?
See Wally Dallenbach, or possibly his neighbor Dave, race the Keystone Beer stock car, the Winston Cup Series.
Well, how'd you drive, Dave?
Well, she drifts a little in 3. No problem. But we need to bleed the brakes.
Wouldn't that be great?
They already know how much you make and what you spend it on. They know your court appearances and your business dealings. They know your health history, your marital history, your credit history. Next, they'll invite themselves into your bedroom. Then again, maybe they already have. Somebody's watching. If it's important to you, you'll find it in time.
Personality traits are formed at an early age. Presenting the 3.1-liter V6 Rodeo from Isuzu. After all, growing up does have its rewards.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta will take you back to Arrowhead Stadium in just a second, but first it's time for the Isuzu Play of the Day. And for this one, we go to Joe Robbie Stadium. Miami down 24-20, threatening late until Dan Marino's pass is swiped by number 90, Steve Entman, the #1 pick in the NFL draft. And Entman is going 90 yards for his first NFL touchdown. He makes the Isuzu Play of the Day. Now back to Arrowhead Stadium, guys.
So number 90 went 90 yards. The #1 pick in the draft, Steve Entman. We have 9:12 here. Pittsburgh using a timeout. They have 2 remaining. Second down and 6 yards to go. Play action by O'Donnell. O'Donnell dumps it off to Cooper, the tight end, and he loses the football, but he has the first down catch at the 16-yard line.
That's the nice thing about tight ends. They don't run out of bounds. You know, you see the little wide receivers, they catch the ball, they dance out of bounds when there's trouble. When you get the big 280-pound tight ends like Adrian Cooper, they start looking for guys to run into.
They're looking for a collision, right?
Yeah. But this guy, Adrian Cooper, has had a very good football game tonight. He caught the 3 passes, of course, but more importantly, he helped keep Derek Thomas away from Neil O'Donnell and really led the way for Barry Foster on a lot of his runs.
12-yard gain to the 16. Steelers felt if they could get by tonight in the next 2 games, they'd really be in a solid position in the AFC Central. This is the first step as Foster takes it inside the 10 to the 8-yard line, very close to a 1st and goal.
This has been a well-balanced team tonight for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You see, offense, no turnovers. Defense, we see what they did. Special teams scored. And we said that to win it consistently in the National Football League, you need to be 3-dimensional. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have been that tonight.
Foster with 91 yards after that last carry, going for his 5th 100-yard day of the season. Second down and 2 for a 1st and goal. And Foster will be very close to the 1st and goal. Need to get to the 6-yard line. Percy Snow was there to make the stop.
The really impressive thing, I think, about the Pittsburgh Steelers on this drive, really the last couple of drives, Gary, is that the Kansas City Chiefs know they're going to run the football. And the Kansas City Chiefs have a pretty doggone good defensive team. and yet the Steelers are still running the ball.
Well, one thing that you pointed out earlier is that Ron Earhart wants road graders up front. He's gotten that offensive line much bigger than they were a year ago.
And it really doesn't make a difference whether you're an offensive guard or tackle. They're really interchangeable in his offense. I mean, it's just really one-on-one type of blocking.
Third down in the yard. Foster diving, and he'll have a 1st and goal as he takes it inside the 5-yard line. Boy, this drive has already consumed over 6 minutes. And they have a 1st and goal inside the 5 as we watch Barry Foster.
You know, you watch these two teams, and this offensive line has just a terrific job. They really
love 67. They picked up Plan B from the Rams. John Jackson, 65. Ilkin, Hasselrig, and Dawson. Those are the guys that want to give some credit to.
Really mirror images or in style and philosophy these teams are, but with personnel, they are much different teams.
O'Donnell, end zone, Eric Green, touchdown catch, his 1st of the season.
I'll tell you, they're all doing the chop when they get in the end zone. Oh, boy.
This is a stunner, Pat. 26-3. Bill Cowher said, I don't want to get really caught up in all of this homecoming stuff. I don't want to take it personally. This is just a professional match. But he's got to be standing over there saying to himself, hey, this is too easy. He's just coming to beat my mentor.
Well, you know, he's got a rough schedule coming up ahead of him.
That'll keep him honest, right?
But nonetheless, a very impressive win tonight for the Steelers. Take a look. You run Barry Foster a bunch of times, and then you fake it to him. And then you have 2 different tight ends you throw it to. You choose the bigger of the 2, Eric Green, and then you go right to the chop.
Dad, before you read my report card, let me explain.
Just undo it.
There seems to be a problem with your checking account.
Just undo it.
Traffic is backed up for 2 miles on.
Just undo it. At the end of the day, just step into your own private spa and just undo it.
The largest selection of spas in north central Ohio is at Fun Center Pools.
It's amazing how it grew and grew. That little company you started in your garage. And now you've got an automobile whose drive for quality matches your own. The Buick Park Avenue Ultra. With its supercharged engine, the Park Avenue Ultra is proof you still take pride.
See your next new car at Joyce Buick.
In 1908, my grandfather opened a store dedicated to providing quality furniture, value, and personal service. Today, Shelby Furniture isn't the biggest in the area, but we've never lost sight of Grandpa's goals. Whether you're looking for furniture, accents, carpet, or drapery, we have a knack for choosing the styles that people like. Your furniture is an investment in your home and your comfort. Trust Shelby Furniture, where we still care. Shelby Furniture in downtown Shelby, just minutes from Mansfield.
See one of the greatest Westerns of all time on its anniversary. Kirk Douglas and Burt Lancaster, Gunfight at the OK Corral. Monday night at 8 Eastern on TNT.
Well, that last drive consumed 8 minutes and 17 seconds. 10 plays, 65 yards. Anderson kicking off to Williams. And Williams gets back to the 20, and that's all. Dave Krieg will come on. He's 5 of 19, 62 yards, and 2 interceptions. Wow. And some of the Chief faithful have left. Marty Schottenheimer has had remarkable success through the years. Last 2 years has won 22 games for the Chiefs. And interestingly enough, in 85 through 88, he was the only coach in the NFL to take a team to the playoff every year.
He has done a remarkable job, but, you know, he said to us this week, said, we really haven't had the consistency for 60 minutes from offense, defense, and special teams in any game this year, even the ones we won. And it's been a very inconsistent Chief team tonight.
And this is one of the guys that's been inconsistent. Krieg gets it off to McNair. Todd McNair tackled at the 23-yard line by Rod Woodson. Well, the Chiefs had a golden opportunity. They could have pulled into a first-place tie in the AFC West with Denver. Denver beaten by San Diego 24-21. On a 2nd down and 7, Krieg just does get rid of it, and it's incomplete. Trying to go down to his shoe tops that time was Davis.
You know, yeah, and I think the Chiefs are going to be a Super Bowl team this year, and that's one of the reasons they brought Dave Krieg in. You know, he's going to see Davis. Well, I think Krieg thought that the linebacker Hinkle was going to pick that one off. But what I was going to say is they're going to be forced, I think the last game they played Denver. Yep. They've got to beat Denver in that last game to win the AFC West.
And Denver has been a real nemesis. Marty Schottenheimer in his years at Cleveland and Kansas City is 1-9 against John Elway. But they will play here in that Mile High Stadium. Krieg this time delivers to J.J. Burton. Burton will get out of bounds, and I think he got the first down. The nice stutter move across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Their receivers are not big, but they will block. They will take your head off. They have that good speed. It was an area of concern coming into the season. They're going to measure to see if he got the first down. They got to bring the sticks clear across the field. But Kansas City had won 9 of their last 10 here in Arrowhead. And so they do have the first down.
There's only one legitimate set of markers, and you saw a couple of them. That one came all the way over from the other side. But the Burton, knew exactly where the first down marker was. He gets by the defender, sees the red flag there. That's just a marker. The down and distance markers, the legitimate one, the game ones are on the other side of the field. But he saw it, dashed for it, picked up the first.
The first brings it out across the 30-yard line. Just outside 5 minutes left in the game. Krieg having time, but no one clearing. Now gets rid of it. A rolling attempt for the catch at the 42, and Davis can't come up with it. By the way, that play a while ago by Burton, that was the first time they've converted on 3rd down. It has been that kind of night. A very proud player, Neil Smith, who his team will have a week off to try to rally their team together. Then they have San Diego here. The Skins come into town, Washington. Then they finish the regular season, as we mentioned, December 27th, hosting the Denver Broncos. 2nd down 10. Krieg can't hang on. Todd McNair, the sure-handed one, could not come up with that one.
I thought one of the interesting things the Chiefs did is elect that man, Dave Krieg, their captain, or one of their captains. And here's a guy who spends 12 years in Seattle, first year in Kansas City. But I think there's a real belief on this Chief team is if they're going to advance farther in the playoffs, that Dave Krieg is going to have to be that guy. Now, he didn't play well tonight, but I still believe he's a very capable quarterback. And I think the coaches feel they're in a better situation to quarterback than they were a year ago. He was unrecruited out of high school, undrafted by the NFL, and unappreciated as a pro many times. Right. Out of defunct Milton College. This time he goes to Burton. Burton takes a real pop as he reaches across the 35 to the 36-yard line as they're going to bring up now still 4 yards and 4th down coming up. They talk about Krieg not getting the hot hand. That was what the defensive coordinator, Dom Capers, is worried about. But on the other hand, he's had those games where he has been miserable. Oh, yeah. And this is a miserable night for Dave Krieg. He could be awful and he could be spectacular. And sometimes in the same game.
So on 4th down and a long 3, They're going to snap the ball, but Aaron Jones had some other thoughts about that. Here's a #1 draft pick that's still around for Pittsburgh. #1 pick in 1988, and he's had some flashes where they get real excited about him.
Encroachment, number 97 defense. It's 5 yards. And
that will give them the first down because they needed only 4, and the 5-yard penalty will move it across the 40 to the 41-yard line. You know, you say you don't want a bye week when you lose a football game. Remember when the Bears lost and they had to spend that whole bye week with Mike Ditka this year? Doesn't make it a lot of fun, does it?
Well, the only chink in the armor of the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight, 11 penalties for 101 yards.
But that's part of that aggressiveness we've been talking about all night long. Greg dumps it off to McNair. McNair measured by Woodson, and Woodson gets him and really rips him out of bounds at the 45.
He is a strong cornerback, Rod Woodson. I mean, you saw him break through some arm tackles on the punt return when he ran for a touchdown. I mean, he's got great closing speed, and he can take running backs and just dispose of them rather quickly. His eyes are always, he's got a feel for the game. He's playing a zone. He releases his receiver inside, stays to the outside zone, and says, oh, face mask. That was a face mask there that didn't get called.
And boy, he got this thing started, didn't he? That 80-yard punt return. For the touchdown, and when you give up a long return like that, it's a long uphill struggle, emotionally as well as point-wise. Second down now, 7. Craig, a wobbly ball, and Woodson's got it. Rod Woodson picks it off. That is his 3rd interception of the year and the 3rd of the night for this Pittsburgh team. That ball just didn't look good, did it?
Yep. Dave Craig's going to have to find a way to shake this one off. But it's tough to shake off Rod Woodson. I mean, again, he's played man-for-man defense tonight, and then he's played zone. And either one of them, he's played awfully well.
Silver summer. Silver time, silver line, girl, and the silver to the left so fine. Silver bottom, silver top, silver fish, silver which comes from here, right from here. Ooh, and it tastes so good. Good life is alright, is now. Good life is alright, is now.
He's back. This time we get it. STP gas treatment. Cleans intake valves and fuel injectors to help engines run better. STP, the edge.
This is a Mita plain paper fax. And this, anyway, this is a thermal fax. Which one is better? Which one looks better to you?
Stay within the lines. The lines are our friends. Stay within. Stay within the lines. The lines are our friends.
Introducing the world's first V6 crayon.
Are you listening?
The Isuzu Rodeo, built to go way outside the lines.
Well, this is a Pat Haden movie from the word go. An elite group of commandos parachute into Nazi territory to rescue an American general from imprisonment in a Bavarian castle. Richard Burton and Clint Eastwood star in Where Eagles Dare tonight after the stadium show on TNT.
That's worth waiting through the stadium show for.
Hand off to Leroy Thompson. Nifty move outside, and Lonnie Martz finally runs him out of bounds at the 48 of Kansas City. Pat, if you put this game in perspective after that 15-yard run, this may be as low a point in Marty Schottenheimer's 4 years as coach here in Kansas City. This was unexpected. I think that's putting it mildly. I mean, he's had some games where he's been disappointed. He's lost so many tough games. He'd lost 3 on the road by 11.
But that's the key thing on the road. Here at Arrowhead, they have been awfully tough, and it's really been an environment that their team has thrived in. So he's got to bring this team back, and he's got to bring his quarterback, Dave Krieg, back ready to play.
Roger Riley, our statistician, now hands me notes, says this is the worst regular season loss Marty suffered. So that just substantiates what we had believed. To Thompson, and Thompson to the 45. Gain of 4. It'll be second down 6. I don't think I've been in Arrowhead Stadium, and I've been here many times, where it's this empty in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Well, you know, generally the way they play some close ball games, but now just a lot of people dressed up as seats.
Well, this will show you a little bit of what's happened here tonight. I think you could change bad to one worser night.
Worser, I like that, yeah. But the turnover ratio, I mean, -3 to the... Wow. So uncharacteristic of a Chief team.
Thompson, little cut back. Marks is there to make the stop. Mike Evans, 94's in there now. The rookie out of Michigan.
You know, I think Marty Schottenheimer is a great motivator, just like Bill Cowher is. I mean, he's got a great communicator. You talked about communication. I think that's what it takes in the National Football League today is head coaches who can communicate. And as bad as they look tonight, it still is just this one game. And they still have an opportunity to go on and win the AFC West and go on and get in advance in the playoffs.
Well, Bill Cowher said this very well. The thing he learned from Marty is his ability to keep an even keel in adversity. Well, this is adversity right now, and Marty has that character, has that personality where he can fight through that. Well, he's going to be tested in this week off. Here's Barry Foster, and Foster trying to go over 100 yards for the night, skips down inside the 35-yard line, and we now have Barry Foster for 105 yards, his 5th 100-yard game of the season. 2-minute warning. Oh, they're starting to celebrate early. Bill Cowher, I don't think he minds at all.
This high-performance drink cleans your fuel system to help maintain peak performance. STP Gas Treatment, the high-performance drink for your car.
A noble warrior once advised, be vigilant against unflagrant perspiration. My ritual is right guard foot stick for maximum wetness protection. The best defense is not to offend. Right guard foot stick. Anything less will be uncivilized.
85 copies a minute. A full 3-year guarantee. Introducing the high-speed Mita DC 8585. Our most sizable contribution to business productivity ever.
Time to think about life insurance? Let your Allstate agent work it out on paper. Everything from mortgage protection to a plan for a breezy retirement. Let your Allstate agent be your agent for life. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Personality traits are formed at an early age. Presenting the 3.1-liter V6 Rodeo from Isuzu. After all, growing up does have its rewards.
Steelers with 2 minutes away from picking up the victory. A 27-3 lead, and our McDonald's player of the game is Rod Woodson, and he started this game off in a rather spectacular fashion. 80-yard punt return for the touchdown. The interception a moment ago. That 80-yard return was something to see.
Well, it set the tone for the whole game, didn't it?
It really did. Up next, the Holiday Inn Stadium Show. I'm Neil, the Snake, Ken Stabler, Kevin Kiley.
I think those fans, the Kansas City fans, would be giving Snake a tough time, don't you? Down there in the end zone. And
they don't like the Raiders.
Oh, no.
Come in here. There he is, the Snake.
Oh, getting in the saddle.
Well, get a little makeup.
Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah.
You know, he never did that with the Raiders.
Is that right? He never put it on?
Silver and black. Never.
Al Davis is having a fit right now.
Did you ever think you'd see Ken Stabler getting makeup? I never did.
I am really disillusioned, aren't you? mean, my hero. So they're going to let this one come to a painful halt as far as the Chiefs are concerned. And Bill Cowher, remarkable victory, will move his record to 5-2. They pull into a first-place tie in the AFC Central with the Houston Oilers. The Chiefs' record goes to 500. They're 4-4 and still trail Denver by a game in the AFC West. Next Sunday from RFK Stadium, be sure to join us. We'll close out our NFL on TNT for 92. 7:30 Eastern Time, the Silver Bullet Stadium Show. All the highlights of the day in the NFL from Ernie Johnson, plus previews and reviews from the panel of Bob Neal, Kevin Kiley, and Ken Snake Stabler. Then at 8 o'clock, the Washington Redskins continue their fight to return to the Super Bowl, hosting division rivals, the New York Giants. Pat and I will be on hand. We hope you'll be with us from the nation's capital. And they'll go to a knee, and thanks to our guys in the truck, particularly our producer, Peter Lasser, and our director, Lonnie Dale. Kansas City Lonnie. Yeah. What a nice time we've had here. Shannon Mizell, our booth guy, who will get us back home in the right place. And Bill Cowher, a remarkable win for a 35-year-old, the second youngest coach in the NFL. Well, that Holiday Inn post-game show will have Bob Neal, and here is Mr. Neal.